Are you ready? Can crush us. It don't really get no better than this the podcast that you're looking for. If you're really heavy into wrestling, hosted by the Mark. Energy that's so amazing. Gotta keep it entertaining. Rep the Can Crusher Nation. Yeah, you know what's going down in the ring. Lights out when you hit a ding ding. Knock them out like boom, bada bing. Hold it down, you can crown me the king. Got a shout out to the Miz and Duke the Dumpster. We choke slamming everybody, power driving, hit them with a face buster. Yeah, this the show you need, and it ain't no need for waiting. Mark, hold it down for the Can Crusher Nation. All about wrestling and keep it entertaining. Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast. Time to break them, let's go. Yeah. Can Crushers. Yeah. Can Crushers, let's go.
Welcome to Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast. I am Mark the Mark. I was asked this week if that's actually my real name. It is. Joining me is the man, the myth, the legend, Bahama Mama, Sir Michael Jenks. I don't know where that came from. I'm in one of those moods.
It must have been from the Hawaiian t-shirt collection that I've added to over the recent weeks.
I think it is.
It might be.
It is. Have you added, really, to your collection?
Yeah, I bought a couple more shirts to it.
I need some more.
It's well worth the investment. My cousin turned me back onto them. They're really comfortable during the summertime, breathable. It's beautiful. So you got to get some more. Walmart, man. Walmart has a great collection.
Walmart, Target.
Let's be honest here. I'm not spending the high-end Tommy Bahama money here. I'm going after the $12.97 Walmart brand t-shirts, and they're fantastic.
I've looked. With baseball really starting this week, Jenks, I've now opened my closet, and I remember there's all my jerseys. It might be a jersey summer again, where I'm throwing the throwback Bo Jackson or the throwback Reggie Jackson. Wow, good job on bringing the Jacksons together.
You got the rest of the Jackson 5 going on there?
I do. But you understand, I have a Pettit, Houston jersey, Clemens in Toronto. I think, for me, not going out like fancy dinner stuff, but normal casual wear for me this year is going to be back into the jerseys. The first couple of days of baseball, and we can talk about it quickly because we have a shit ton of wrestling to talk about, has been amazing.
It's like a big pay-per-view happened, yeah.
Yeah, like we didn't cover pay-per-view yet. And, let's put it off one more week.
But that's the time of the year, man. I need to get up my jersey game for baseball. I will say that personally. I don't think I have a baseball jersey, to be honest.
Really? That's bullshit. Not even a parts unknown Seawolves?
No, and here's the thing though, with my stature, jerseys don't lend themselves too well to me. So I have to find the perfect combination. It's kind of hard when you don't have the jersey shops around parts unknown or a wide variety of them. Because I'm only going to buy, for me, I'll buy some Ray stuff or even parts unknown Seawolfy stuff. But sometimes they don't have the size for me. So
you need to get on, and that's where I've gotten them all. I can give it away because I don't even know if it was a Chinese one where you have them shipped over from China or whatever, and it takes 8 months to get there. So to get something for this baseball season, you're screwed.
Right.
But that's the way I bought all mine. I have a jersey from every team except 4. I don't have the Rays, I don't have the Marlins, I don't have the Diamondbacks, I don't have the Rockies, the 4 newest teams. Okay. Essentially, yes, I do have the Nationals twice, because I have the Nationals and I have the Expos.
Gotcha.
But I remember the Expos when, I was alive when they were the Expos.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I have Gary fucking Carter that has been killing me on MLB The Show. So I hate him right now. But I noticed back...
relationship.
Yeah, right? I noticed back in the day, and I just won't let you notice this. This is literally, Jenks, this is 10 years ago now. A lot of the jerseys that I like are that same powder blue. Everybody at one point had powder blue in their makeup or system or something.
That was like the 80s, wasn't it? 70s, 80s. It was all powdered blue.
Yeah.
At some capacity. Because you had teams like the Phillies even had powdered blue.
The Cardinals.
On their jerseys. Cardinals, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a very blue time in baseball. And not sadness wise.
Yeah, there was a blue pay-per-view that we're going to talk about here in literally probably 5 minutes.
Big blue.
Yeah.
Big blue pay-per-view. But see, I got to get on that. So maybe we need to talk afterwards to get more jerseys for me. I did buy a shit ton of Rays merchandise, though. I got some new T-shirts, new hat, a couple other things for the Rays to stock up for the new season. So.
Hopefully, you didn't buy an Austin Meadows discount shirt.
I did not. No, he is gone. See, I've stopped. Here's the thing with the Rays: I don't want to buy a named player jersey or shirt because they always get traded away at some capacity, unless it's like Boggs or I would put David Price, Carl Crawford in that kind of scenario. Longoria, those ones I would buy as like throwback ones, but anybody else, they're gone too quickly, and there's no reason to buy the jerseys for them.
You're preaching to the choir. I don't buy. Like, when the Rays were coming up and I made these purchases, I'm like, who the fuck would I buy for the Rays right now? Because they're not going to keep anybody. And they're too new for me. Not anymore. But at that point, they were too new for me. Like the Rockies, I only want Larry Walker. That's it. I want Larry Walker. Well, Todd Helton now made it into the scheme. The Marlins, Jesus, God. Unless I can get a Miggy throwback jersey, I don't want anybody still.
You don't want that Dontrell?
No. I would have never been a fan of Dontrell.
That's right.
Never. Who else? The Rays, like I said, I don't. Longoria, I don't think I'd mind. Maybe a Manny Ramirez because he was there so long.
Oh, that is right, yeah. I even forgot about that one.
And who else don't I have? What's the other fourth team? Florida, Tampa, Colorado.
And
Arizona.
You said it, yeah. Okay.
Arizona. And I don't know. I mean, again, Randy Johnson. I don't know if you do. I pull the trigger on Schilling?
Yeah, I know. That was the other. Yeah, there's not really any big name. Wait, wasn't Adrian Gonzalez there for a stint? Or am I thinking?
No, you're thinking of Lugo.
No, that's right, Luis, yeah.
But I was rooting for the Yankees that year, and that motherfucker gets the only base hit of the World Series that he had to win it.
I was not rooting for the Yankees because I never will, and I was so happy about that year.
So yeah. I don't have a website like ready, so
no, you're good.
But we'll get one. I do want to get some more. Like, right now, the only Tiger one... Well, there's actually a couple Tiger ones I want. Meadows is there for at least 3 more years. This is barring random trades. He's there for 3 more years because they got that. I've always been an Austin Meadows fan. Again, the Pirates...
He's been great. Yeah.
Screwed the pooch on that. Riley Green's going to be there once he comes back from the stint of the DL, or IL, sorry, that they call now. Yeah. But if I pull the trigger on one, it's got to be Torkelson. I love the kid.
I was going to say, Torkelson is really good, and that would probably be the one if I was going to buy one from the Tigers I would get right now.
Yeah, because I already have a Miggy and a Verlander one, so I'm good there. Both of my favorite all-time Tigers. So
there you go.
Jacob Turner would have been great, or Casey Crosby, but didn't happen.
Yeah.
They were there, but they're no longer.
Exactly.
Yeah. Sean Roof.
There you go, the mayor.
The
mayor, parts unknown Seawolves.
Right.
Who I've helped before who helped me before in a Halloween shop, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's one of my greatest stories is the mayor helped me out at a Halloween store, so we'll get into that another time.
Well, mention one more because he popped in the top of my head because Brown Stunner was a big fan. Raleigh Bishop. Woo! And I actually did. I even did the finger as well.
I did too. You got to get Max St. Pierre. Just saying.
I loved Max St. Pierre. I loved him. Yeah,
he was great.
Not so much, but I loved him.
Yeah, he was great in
the minors.
The legend. He was some mythos around him. So when he finally got the call after so many years, I can't remember how many years it was, but it was a good moment.
Yeah. I was actually part of a release. Do you know that? When I was up there?
You were?
I was.
No, I did not know that.
I didn't get released.
Did you feature Endeavor somebody?
No. I had to go get the person to bring him back to his hotel to get his stuff. Jeff Kunkel.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, when they released Jeff Kunkel, essentially released him from his player contract to bring him in to be the bullpen catcher, I had to go pick him up at the airport. And that's when I had a Jeep. And everybody else was out of town. I had to go pick him up from the airport. And he was none too happy. And I'm like, hey, Jeff, how are you? I just fucking got released. How do you think I'm doing? Awesome. This is going to be a great 5-minute ride back to the hotel. See you later, buddy.
Yep. Take care.
Yeah. I'm just the schmuck. That's it, buddy.
You just got the right place at right time at that point.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah. He was a happy person anyway.
Yeah.
He really was.
That just improved upon it.
Yeah, it really did. All right. Briefly, because I said 5 minutes, and we're close to that already. How was your week?
Week was good. The girlfriend's out of country now.
What?
So she took a family trip to Puerto Rico just yesterday. So no girlfriend in the proximity until next weekend. So kind of just bumming around the house now. And because of that, because my Saturday night had nothing going, I was not visiting her. I was left to my own devices. And Mark, what did you get as a picture last night?
I have no idea who was in the ring. Donkey Kong. How do you say his name?
Harambe.
Harambe. A clown, I think. Silver Surfer, maybe. I have no fucking clue what this Royal Rumble is. What you were having.
I'm trying to find the picture I sent you. So what was going on?
It's on the thumbnail. It's on the thumbnail. If you're looking at the thumbnail saying, "What the Christ is this?" That is Jenks.
I was so happy you put that. That's going to be on the thumbnail. So I got left to my own devices, and something I've been thinking about doing for a long time is when you go to the creation section of WWE 2K22, there's so many cartoon characters or some sort of fictional character on there that I'm just downloading these all, and I just want to see what happens. And I just want to do a Rumble. So
did you play, or did you just let it go?
I played this one. I am considering doing My Universe with just these characters just to play through, just to simulate and watch. But so basically all I did was I downloaded 40-some characters, and then I went through because they all had similar finishers and all that. So this was my Saturday, was updating their finishers and their attributes to not be 75 because nobody can assign attributes to players. And I downloaded a bunch of players and did a 30-man Rumble last night in a Moe's Tavern arena. If you've seen it, you know it's there. And included in this Rumble, the screenshot I sent Mark was Donkey Kong, Patrick Star, Scorpion from Mortal Kombat. There was a Glorilla, which was basically a gorilla that glowed.
Okay, that's what I thought. I thought he was a Silver Surfer or something, because I didn't read the bottom of them, but okay.
Yeah. I'm trying to see who's on. Oh, John Wick was in the ring, Harambe, and Shredder from the Ninja Turtles fame were all in the ring when that won. I did take a picture of the Final Four to give this synopsis. So the Final Four was Harambe hung around, the Joker, Kratos from God of War, and Ghostface from the Scream franchise.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Who won?
Joker won.
Yeah.
Harambe couldn't hold on. So, yeah, that was my Saturday night. And I'm contemplating putting teams together. Harambe and Donkey Kong, obviously, is a natural progression. Not going to steal the Gorillas of Destiny name because we know that's already out there as a wrestling group. But I do like the Gorillas of, so I'm trying to think of a adjective to throw with that or something, or a verb or something like that. So, yeah, long night.
I know how long that is to mess with the attributes and get them all right and everything. It's for as long as the match lasts, you're like, man, I just did that for 4 fucking hours. And it was only a half-an-hour match. You get pissed a little bit. You get pissed.
You do get pissed. And then I was sitting there I started getting other random titles offline too. So I think I'm doing like a meme-based titles with these guys. So, because a lot of them are involved in memes of some sort. So I think I grabbed there's a TikTok title, a YouTube tag title.
There's a Can Crusher title.
I have that too. That's already in the reserve. Maybe I'll have him fight for that as the main title.
There you go.
I did download that was a main meme title, but yeah. So I'm a nerd, and I had nothing better to do last night, so I was drinking and playing that. How was your week?
Work-wise, I was a little bit busy, so I didn't get a lot of time to spend on wrestling and or MLB The Show until Friday. It was Friday. And then my cousin, Soup, that you guys have heard on Can Crushers before, starts telling me about Diamond Dynasty. And I always forget about it, but it wraps back around this time of the year, and I'll play for a while. And he's full of diamonds already, and I'm like, God damn it. Because we play against each other all the time, and he's fucking crushing me, da-da-da-da-da. So yesterday, I played a little bit, and I suck. I can fucking pitch like nobody's business. I can't hit it all on Diamond Dynasty. So I'm getting pissed. I racked 8 hours into video games yesterday as well. Not doing much. Not accomplishing what I wanted to get or get people to spruce up my team. And then I remembered, oh shit, I was supposed to do something with the tag team tournament this week. That's how my brain has went. Because I'm pissed off because other people have better baseball teams online than me. Yep, I'm that guy. So this week, since we're going to announce it right now, there's no show next week. Happy Easter. Yep. Enjoy your holiday. Jenks has family coming over. We're going over to probably both, actually. My dad has not confirmed, but I'm sure if we don't go up there, I'm a heathen. But I know we're going to go over for lunch at Kel's mom and stepdad's, and then we'll have to run up for late lupper or something up at my dad's, which will turn into some beverages. So what we're doing this week is we are going to put the tag team tournament on the old Facebook, on the old YouTube page. So that will be taken care of. I do have Monday, Tuesday available to record that and put that up and stuff like that. So note that we will be back. We're going to take a week off, damn it, essentially is what I'm saying.
Fair enough.
Yeah. And we'll talk about WrestleMania then, when we come back on the 24th. No, we're going to talk about WrestleMania.
We're going to let it marinate for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
And marinate in peanut butter eggs and jelly beans.
I hate you. Make sure you listen to the 40-year dash on Easter.
I wasn't even plugging that. I was just throwing it out there.
I am. Okay. Make sure you listen to the 40-year dash on Easter. They're going to release another hot topic candy debate.
Yes.
And it's wrapped around jelly beans and essentially peanut butter eggs.
Yes. And you will be able to vote on Spotify when the episode posts what your favorite of the two is. It's very heated.
I can eat a peanut butter egg any time of the year. And I do not want to get into this debate because we do have WrestleMania to talk about.
Yeah, we gotta get to Mania, but I don't like where this is going already.
I can eat a peanut butter egg any time of the year. Essentially because that's what the peanut butter egg is. That's what the Christmas tree is. That's what the football is, the baseball, the whatever fucking part of Reese's comes out. That's a peanut butter egg to me. Jelly beans to me are only good because it depends on when Easter is. So you have the March to April buffer. I will eat the shit out of jelly beans then. You give me a jelly bean in July, what the fuck are you doing? These aren't even supposed to be on the shelves then.
I completely agree with you. And my friend Mookie will make the argument for a Christmas jelly bean, and I'm not sure why. I think he threw it out there just to get a reaction, to be honest. But we get heated, and you'll clearly see that jelly beans did not have a great argument going forward in that thing.
Moochie usually doesn't have a great... The only argument that he had thus far on your podcast, the 40-year dash, was about Kenny Lofton being in the Hall of Fame.
I completely agree with that. And that's because he actually wrote out an essay and read the essay.
Right?
He organized his thoughts for once, and we were good. So... Yeah.
On to WrestleMania night number 1, because otherwise
we're covering WrestleMania?
Yeah, I know. Holy shit.
Sign up for this week.
Jenks, I'm going to start overall. overall, we're going to do it different this time, and I don't know why.
Boy.
What were your thoughts on both nights overall? And then we can rip stuff apart and shred it as we do. This is going to be a long episode, folks, so enjoy the ride.
Yeah. Overall, I thought WrestleMania was a decent one. I'm not going to say it was one of the greats that we've had.
It was not WrestleMania 4. It was not.
It was not WrestleMania 4. Recent memory, it wasn't as great as 34. I make the argument for 31 because I really enjoyed 31 and all the chaos that happened with that in recent history. But it was good. I definitely think night 2 was better than night 1.
Agreed.
Night 1 had its moments. We'll get to it, but Cody's debut. There were so many things going on night 1. Stone Cold. I mean, it had its moments. It had great moments in it, but night 2 was far superior to night 1, in my opinion. So overall, I thought it was good.
On beers, out of a 6-pack. And by the way, do you have our bet? I remember who I picked, but...
I remember who I picked,
okay.
But I don't have who you picked. So
yeah, and I'm the same way. So we're going to have to be true to each other. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So on beer wise, I'm gonna give it a 4. I'll go 4 overall.
That's a B minus-ish, right? Is what you're saying then?
Yeah, it's slightly better than half, better than a C. But I don't think it was blowing me away, WrestleMania.
I think for the moments that we got, I'm going to pull a Jenks and do a 4.5 beer.
That's her.
And I think the moments really, and you'll get to when I say moment compared to match, I think those excelled a lot better. And if I want to compare this to last year's or, the recent WrestleManias, because I had a buddy over Saturday night, and of course I talked to the English professor. There's no comparison from this WrestleMania to WrestleMania 4 between the glitz and the glamour and everything. So I needed to step back and say, okay, I ended up watching WrestleMania, both of them, twice. I watched them real time, and then, just zipping through them again on Peacock just to say, oh yeah, that. I mean, I didn't spend another 16 hours watching both nights of WrestleMania, but I watched them like, this was good to all right compared to recent WrestleManias. That's why it's a 4.5 beer and essentially like a B minus for me, because I let WrestleMania run my mind instead of when is this going to happen? When is that going to happen?
Yep.
I turned myself off as a podcaster, mark to mark, all that, and I thought, let's just try this fan thing again, see if it really works. And I think it did. There was times, and then there was times I'm like, oh boy, I can't turn my mark to mark off here.
Yeah, I did the same thing, and I had the unique pleasure, I guess, of having a newer person introduced to wrestling on night 1. So to me, I'm going through, okay, I'm watching night 1, I'm watching how everything develops, and then I'm answering questions from my girlfriend who has never watched wrestling to begin with. I knew Logan Paul was going to be there, so that was her draw. But watching her become heavily invested in Becky and Bianca was amazing to me, knowing she literally, I did not watch the kickoff show. We turned it on about 5 minutes to WrestleMania, and she just knew Becky Bianca was going to be her thing for the night, and she was all about it. And then Stone Cold lit up her eyes, and she was so enamored with Stone Cold coming out drinking while kicking Kevin Owens' ass that it was a happy boyfriend moment for me, because I knew she was getting into it a little bit. So you could see that new fan, hopefully, the new fan sparking. And night 2 to me was one of those nights where I could actually settle in and I could be the fan I wanted to be. Because, like you, Mark, I did not want to go into this criticizing everything.
Right.
Or waiting for this to happen, waiting for that to happen. No. My goal was to go into it and just enjoy the show.
Yep.
Crack a couple beers, enjoy what we were watching, and I really got myself into night 2 a lot more than night 1. But both nights were enjoyable to me. It was a good WrestleMania. It was great. I kind of wish she would have watched night 2 because I think she would have had a lot more fun with it when we get there with like Sammy and that. But I think overall it was a good night.
So she'll watch another. She's not full-fledged watching Raw or SmackDown or AEW yet weekly, but she will partake in another pay-per-view down the line. Double or Nothing, probably.
I think we're going to try to do Double or Nothing because I think that's Memorial Day weekend. If I'm right, then we can definitely watch Double or Nothing. Because if it falls on a Sunday, then we don't have work Monday, so she can definitely watch it. So I was kind of trying to plan that out. She hasn't been exposed to AEW yet. Only WWE's glitz and glamour. So I think she gets the flip side of wrestling, and we'll see if she gets even more involved at that point. But I think she is definitely open to watching more. You're
not going to show her AEW until Double or Nothing?
Well, I was thinking about it, but we don't get together during the week.
Right.
So unless I talk her into watching the show from the week before, I try to put it off so that we could collaborate on that, coordinate with that. Maybe we will. I haven't really planned that far ahead, to be honest. So
nor should you have, because it was a spot-on question.
It was a spot-on question, but it's a fair question because I definitely could. I do DVR AEW because there's sometimes like this week where I just worked Wednesday night, so I couldn't really watch Dynamite live, so I watched it Thursday. So I have it taped, so I can definitely do that.
I would hold off. Personally, I would hold off.
That's kind of where my thought was.
Yeah.
I feel like, so to me, and this is not a knock on AEW, I think it's actually a compliment to it. AEW is where you get more pure wrestling, and it's more what we love, right?
Yeah.
So we talk to God, everybody on this podcast knows, we talk to the ends of the earth about AEW and most of the action in that, and how great it is. We do build it up. I mean, it has its negativities, but we build it up. I don't think the progression is there yet for her to jump to AEW because it's a lot.
It is a lot.
And it's a lot. And I think WWE allows that access for newer fans. And that's why you see, like, and it's not a knock on WWE. Kids can get more into WWE if they haven't been exposed to it yet.
Yep.
Exposed to wrestling because it's easy to follow. It's pretty storyline driven. There's things to pick up on. You're getting the wrestling aspect, but you're more involved in the story. When you make that next step to AEW, you're there for the wrestling. The storylines are fantastic, but they're really there to enhance the wrestling. When WWE, it's the storylines are the focus. The wrestling enhances the storyline.
Exactly. So, yeah. You can AEW. There's times that if you jump in the middle of the storyline, you are lost. You don't know, and I feel that would be a hindrance for her to jump to AEW right off the bat. But all right, we'll get there. So night 1 starts. What the fuck does Mark Wahlberg have to do with being in Texas? As I told you, I'm going to rip it apart. I'm going to rip everything apart. Why did he introduce this? Why
the hell not? Hype the shit out of it, man. Get Marky Mark in the Funky Bunch, man.
All right. Because the guys that I had over were like, he's a Boston guy. He should be in Boston. Guy. What's he hanging out in Dallas for? I'm like, I don't know. So I had to write it down.
I don't know if they maybe had somebody else in the mind, but they couldn't do it. Maybe they had Will Smith and he was
busy,
too hot, too busy being banned from the Oscars to come show up. But I don't know.
We get a lot of that. We get a lot of refocusing on the promos that we just watched for the last 2 hours during WrestleMania. That's one thing for a new fan. If you don't know what's going on in the match, you got 15 minutes before each match to get caught up what's happened for the last 3 months, essentially. So
exactly
that would help her. But we have a lot of that, and that essentially scraps a match. And I'm going right there right off the bat. It scraps a match on the card. Because everything ran too long, even with an injury. New Day and Sheamus and Ridge get bumped to the next day because they ran out of time. Holy fuck, Jenks. It's been on since 5 o'clock in the afternoon. It runs until midnight.
How do you
run out of time in 7 hours?
I don't know. And there's some things that they could have cut down, right? Promo wise, we'll get there. But yeah, I don't understand that. And I could make so I was going to bring it up anyways when we talked about Sheamus and that whole match. They didn't even give him time to do the match. And we'll get there when we talk about that. But good Lord Almighty, they barely fit it into night 2.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't even call it
a match.
It was just a thing, just to get him on the card.
Yep. So night 1 starts with Shinsuke and Boogs against...
Sorry, I had to do that.
Against the Usos. And Usos win, so that's for Mark. I'm only going to write down my winners, and that's the way I'm going to start them real quick. Usos win, so that's a win for Mark.
Yeah, that's not a win for me. I feel like in this match, they had to change it, though.
They did.
Because I don't think... I feel like, yeah, Boogs was a legit injury, and that was just a shame.
Yeah.
I was looking forward to him hitting whatever he was going to try to do on the Usos or whatever they were planning on doing, but that has been the story, though.
Yeah.
For the past couple months.
Yeah, he has. As much as I don't want to say I hate him, right, but I just am not there yet with him. Now, I don't know, a year maybe he's going to be out. I mean, it's going to be a while. You're not going to see him. And then flash forward to SmackDown real quick. They essentially took care of Nakamura for a while too, and we'll get to that. But yeah, I just don't know. All in all, I think it could have been a great match. So I can't really grade what happened because you have to change on the fly. The only thing I have to say about this is, why the fuck was this match sponsored by Mike's Harder Hard Lemonade? And they both come out looking like Orange Crush and Lemonade had a baby. God, why did they make them wear these outfits? And you know they made them.
I know they made them, and I thought every match was going to be sponsored.
And I was going to be
really pissed. Yeah. Truthfully, I liked the color scheme they had. Hated that it was sponsored.
Right.
But yeah, that was throwing me off. Why are we starting off? Okay, let's sponsor these guys. What are we going to start putting, companies on their legs now? A la Lesnar, a la what Punk tried to do many years ago to get sponsorship. Can we get to that, or is it just WWE dictating where sponsors go? And I'm thoroughly convinced that's the only reason they put video boards into the barricades, by the way.
Yes. Oh, for sure.
Was for sponsorship.
Yeah, I agree. It's coming.
It is. It's going to come, and it's going to be everywhere. But go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, go for it.
Okay.
No, you first.
All right. Good thing there wasn't a Smurfs movie coming out, because everything was blue in Texas. Everything. And I mean, I don't remember seeing, and we'll get to the matches and everything, I don't remember seeing Edge wear blue in 20 fucking years. Mm-hmm. Everybody had some blue, and of course it was Cowboy Stadium, but holy shit. The lighting was the blue WrestleMania. Blue Tista should have been there. There's times, all right, it's okay to have that hint of color and everything, but everything, it was the Hell in a Cell red night that we all bitched about, and they did it with blue this year, and that brought it down a little bit for me. Yeah,
and I'm wondering if that was one of the negotiations that Jerry Jones put into there, is you have to have everything blue.
I'd have to
in
imagine.
My stadium.
Yeah.
I feel like that was what happened there. I mean, favorite color is blue on my end, but good Lord Almighty, give me a different color. I was so happy when Cody came out and he had a different color clothing on, even though he had some blue in there. He had gold.
Yeah.
But good God.
Next,
before we jump off of this, we did get a comment from Kimberly that she didn't realize there was a buff Freddie Mercury in the WWE. So, there was that highlight of that match.
We made reference to that before.
Yeah, we have made reference, but she said it, and then I laughed, so I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, we'll get some insight from Kimberly that's in Puerto Rico right now for night 1.
We will, yeah. Yes, we will get it for night 2, too. There's a couple instances as well.
We did get some text from that, Happy against Drew in this match. It was nothing but a Raw match for me. Nothing but a Raw match. Drew gets the win and slices the ropes. I know I picked Drew.
I picked Drew as well. I was surprised that they finally had somebody kick out at the end of days.
Yeah.
I did not like it in that spot because, to your point, it didn't feel like a WrestleMania match. It felt like a SmackDown type of match. So I hated that. I kind of hated that because it had been so projected. Now it was kicked out of in not a high pressure or high moment situation, I guess, lack of better terms. And I would have assumed maybe a title match that happens. This had no significance whatsoever. So this one kind of hurt it. And did you like Angela cutting the ropes or did you not? Because I think it was supposed to go through the bottom rope as well, but it just couldn't get down there.
I was pissed because by then I'm like, holy fuck, I know this is adding another 15 minutes to the show.
Yep.
And I knew knowing what match was next, they gave a half an hour preview of what's going on with Miz and Logan and Ray and Dom. So it was perfectly timed on WWE's aspect that they had time to do this, but I knew we were getting a long promo once that happened. I'm like, can we just do, in again comparison, like AEW, maybe a 30-second spot and then get back to the action? No, we have to relive everything that we just lived on the pre-show.
Pre-show, yeah, and I don't get it. It was painful. I'm just gonna be honest. It was painful because then it takes away from why we're truly there.
Yeah.
Again, but did we want to give a rating on the Drew match?
On the Drew match,
we didn't talk about one.
No, we didn't. I think it was below average. I would probably go 2 beers.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
Definitely
it was nothing great.
No, nothing great. I think they wasted the end of days kick out, first person to kick out of the end of days. Yeah, wholeheartedly.
Next matchup was Ray and Dom, the Mysterios, against Miz and Logan, and I had Ray and Dom winning. So I did not get this one right.
Neither did I, because I had the Mysterios. I lost it as well to the girlfriend who picked Logan Paul and the Miz, so I owe her dinner now. So that was unfortunate.
So where are you going? Or do you have to cook it?
I think I have to take her out. We said I'd take her out. Whoever lost would take the other person out. Maybe I can talk her into cooking it. We have a lot of recipes that we want to try, so maybe I can do that. But this was not a fan of the wardrobe going on in this match either. She was not a fan of any of this wardrobe. But
really, even her homeboy Logan.
I will give props to Logan though. That $1 million Pokemon card that he wore out to the ring was probably the most expensive thing in that stadium.
Wasn't it? Was it like 5.2 or how much? 1.5?
Something like that.
Yeah,
it was like 5.2 or something like that.
Would you wear that, Jenks, knowing that you're only wearing it to the ring? You're going to hand it to somebody probably you've paid to walk down there. There's autographs that I have in the studio that they're not leaving the studio ever. Yeah. Even to take to my dad to say, look at this is cool. No, I just, and they're not worth $5.2 fucking billion or $1 million, $1 trillion. That's stupid.
Let's talk about that. The most expensive baseball card is Honus Wagner, right?
Right.
How much is that? I think it was only $3 million.
I think so.
So you're telling me? Last I saw it was $3 million. So let's put this in perspective here. A childhood Pokemon card with all its glitz and glamour is $2 million more than that old baseball card.
You have to remember, though, this is.
But it's about. I think a lot plays into it, right? flexibility, things of that nature. There's a lot of exterior factors.
Worldwide compared to Wagner is not known in Japan.
Wide.
Yeah.
That's fair. And let's be honest, to a casual baseball fan, if they would not know about Honus if they didn't know about that card, right?
Right.
Nothing against Honus. It's just, if you're a casual
you're
fan,
hating on Honus
game,
right now.
I'm not hating. My point is, if you're a casual baseball fan and you don't understand the in-depth history of the game, that baseball card, you would not know who that is without it. Yeah,
put it in your spokes of your tires so it goes.
Exactly.
Right.
But that's not a knock against Honus. It's just what it is. But god damn, $5.2 million for something that's from my childhood is what's blowing my mind right now.
Right. And I was never on the Pokemon thing, so I don't understand it whatsoever.
I was on it for a hot minute, and I still don't understand it.
Okay.
But I wish I would have now. There's a lot of things I wish I would have understood when I was younger so that I'd have more money right now. That's all I'm saying.
No shit. No. Not just on you, but on me.
Yeah, right.
Logan impressed me, though, in this match. I mean, he hit 3 amigos. I was pumped up with that. I loved that he was a giant douchebag in this match. Everything Eddie Guerrero, everything, and I'm like, this is the perfect person to do this. So as much as I shit on Logan being built into this, I think he brought it.
Yeah.
He was not the best superstar non-athlete in the ring over WrestleMania, but between him and Bad Bunny, I liked Logan better.
That's fair, and this is a second year in a row where one of these outside influencers has come in and kind of a little bit taken the show. I'm not saying they totally stole the show, but they have they changed your mind. Like last year, I didn't put any stock in Bad Bunny doing what he did. He came out and stole it. I mean, it was fun. It was fun for Bad Bunny, and he did a lot of things I didn't think he would do. Logan Paul the same way, hated him by the end of the match, but that's exactly what he was there to do, get you to hate him. Nobody does Eddie Guerrero moves for you to love him, except for maybe Ray, because Ray's allowed to, right?
Right.
Ray has that
connection.
That connection in that allowance to him. Logan Paul is a white guy from LA that is a YouTuber.
Yep.
You couldn't get more hated coming into WWE or just walking into a door than what Logan Paul represented, right?
Yeah, right.
And he came through and he did all of Eddie's moves, and it pissed everyone off.
So overall, I give this match a 4 because of all of that. And then the heel turn of the Miz at the end saying, hey, you did what you had to do, go fuck yourself. Now we're going to set up our match for SummerSlam. Essentially, that's what's going to happen. And I didn't. Yeah. Logan actually had this written into his contract. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah. He legit has a WWE contract that he wrote in. He wanted a face turn in his contract. Holy shit. This is match 3 and we're already at 45 minutes.
Yeah, no, we haven't gotten that far. I did not know that. You're going 4. I will go 4 as well. You know, it did what it had to. Was the greatest tag match? Never. Was not. But it did what it did. Had great spots, and I enjoyed it. It did pop. So I liked it.
Yeah. Steph introduces Gable Stevenson. Okay, cool. He did nothing tonight, so we'll wait until tomorrow. We get into the matches now. And nothing against those first 3 matches, but this is now where the beef of shit starts to happen.
Yes.
Becky and Bianca. First off, you all brought it. I hated the goddamn marching band. I did not like the marching band.
Oh, I like that.
For Bianca. I don't know. Her music just pops different, and the marching band kind of brought it down to a low for me. I'm like, But then instantly I'm like, well, Bianca's winning just because of that. And that's who I picked. So
right.
I got 3 right so far.
I think I got 2 right.
Because you went with Becky, right?
No, I went with Bianca in this one. I missed the Mysterio match, and I missed the first match.
Oh, yeah.
So I went
that's right.
Nakamura and Boogs.
Okay. Yeah.
If there wasn't an injury, I'm swearing I would have won that match. But anyway, I'm not going to harp on it. I like the marching band. I thought that was different. I guess
It was. I agree. It was different.
It was different than just having a regular band out there. We knew Bianca's music. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I did like her coming out as kind of the lead for it, so I thought that was great. It was all there. This was the first match
of WrestleMania.
Of WrestleMania, yeah. And I think the Logan Paul, the tag match, kind of got it in there. It felt more like a kickoff. This was the first one that made it feel like, oh my God, this is big stage WrestleMania. And you know why? Because it was supposed to be the main event. I'm saying it now.
It was.
It should have been the main event, and not knocking Austin or anything like that, but it was so brilliantly built that I had to explain, rewatch in bed later that night with my girlfriend, what had happened with that feud and show her the clips leading up to WrestleMania.
So you're still watching wrestling at 1:30, 1 o'clock in the morning.
It was. Yeah, because she's like, I got to see this hair thing, because I told her about the hair cutting incident, because we missed the promo video, because we had to walk the dog in that. But by the time we came back in, the promo was just wrapping up, so I had to show her the hair cutting incident. And then she got more pissed about that. And then at first she was like, oh my God, I can't believe Bianca did that. And then she was like, oh, Becky introduced them. Why would she do that? So it was a whole claim of the events. 1:30 in the morning, I'm showing her wrestling clips about this match.
I love that I can live vicariously now, by the way, big word that it just came through correctly, through you teaching, learning, showing somebody wrestling again, because it has to warm your soul introducing somebody to wrestling. And guys, yes, this is a wrestling podcast. I know people in the world probably wouldn't say that, but that's got to feel good that at match 4 of WrestleMania, and then after spending hours watching it, not knowing how she was going to, 1:30 in the morning, you're showing her backstory.
Yeah. That brought it full circle. And honestly, in my life, it's the first time somebody's wanted to take that interest in it, which is fantastic to me. But God, it kind of re-centers yourself as a fan.
Yeah.
Because we all forget why we actually love it. But when you have to re-explain the backstory to somebody just starting and somebody just new into it, it lights that passion a little bit more.
It does.
And it was beautiful. And I'm like, did we just fucking do that? I didn't say that to her, but like, did we just do this? Did she just literally want to see that clip over again?
We have more room for activities.
Yeah, right. But at the end of the day, she was fully invested in this match like we were. Not a fan of the outfits again, but we were fully engulfed in this match, Mark. This was such a good match.
I'm going to say it right now. This is on the candidate of match of the year for me. It was that great. Yes. This will probably be WWE's match of the year. Yes. I would think.
I would agree.
Even with Becky doing the senton drop kick to the eye, that is a new move that she's been working on for about 6 months, that she released only at WrestleMania, and you'll never see it again. I'm joking. That was a fucking shot that I legit thought Bianca could have been knocked out. Yeah,
I agree with that. Well, it proves its point that it's devastating, that's for sure.
It is devastating.
But see, I didn't realize how bad it caught her eye live.
Right, and I didn't either.
When they showed her at the end, I just thought, oh, hey, Bianca lost like a fake eyelash, right? And that's what I said to Kimberly, and she's like, yeah, I think you're right, because you could tell her eyes were off, but I thought it was just something with the makeup, or like her eyelash fell off.
Right.
But when I saw the swelling and the bruising the next day, the black eye, I'm like, oh my God, I had to go back and rewatch, because I didn't realize how hard it hit her until that point.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
Yeah. All right, you go ranking first on this one. I mean, we both said it was match of the year for WWE.
It's match of the year for WWE. Mark, I'm debating 5.5 or 6.
I was going 5.5, and I'm not going to lie.
I'm going 5.5.
Yeah.
I don't want to give it. I don't think it's 6, but I know it's not 5.
Right.
It's 5.5 for me.
Yeah.
This was an excellent match.
Yeah, I agree. Next up was Rollins against Mystery. Everybody in the world knew it was going to be Cody, and damn it, again, we're gonna probably glaze over, and I hate saying this, AEW this week, or we can really glaze over on SmackDown, because I don't want to glaze over AEW. But this next match, Cody against Seth Rollins, I had Cody winning, you had Cody winning, I do know that for a fact. People have already said that this is legendary. This is the epicenter of WWE right now. For me, it was a great match. Mm-hmm. To follow Becky and Bianca, they really would have had to bring it. Technically, a sound match. If they wouldn't have followed Becky and Bianca, I probably would have gave it more. I really would have. So I'm going to ruin it right now. I think it's a 5-star match, or a 5-beer match. I really do. Because they both know what they were doing, this, that, and the other. I think more of it, though, was to hear in WWE, there's not just one wrestling family. Or
family.
That blew, like, to me, that's a shot a little bit. And we've heard it before. But I think to have that play in WWE, that's a shot at the Samoans, the Harts. The list can go on of huge ass, but you've never heard that in WWE. Now Vince is allowing it, because he could have said, you could have your American Nightmare song, or whatever the hell it's called. You can't have that intro.
Yeah.
He allowed it. So I think that's a shot. That's just my perspective. Overall, I think it was a great match, though. It's not over. Let's just say that.
Oh, God, no. Completely agree with all those points. I think we're getting a build to Cody versus Roman at some point, because you're right. It's a shot, and the tribal chief will not take that line down. I hated Seth Rollins' carpet that he wore to the ring.
I did too.
I'm not sure what the fuck that was.
The blue carpet, by the way.
The blue carpet, and then his Christian mesh shirt was just a throw off at that point. But I actually got a "what the hell is he wearing" comment from Kimberly, which was hilarious to me. But overall, the match was great. It was fantastic. Loved the Stardust.
I thank you. I was going to say, did you see it?
Moment.
Yes.
I saw it. As soon as he did it, I popped. She's like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "That's too much in-depth history for you right now." But just know that was monumental.
We'll wrap back around to it in 6 months.
We'll study that at some point. She just looked at me weird and then was like, "Okay." But I love the commentary with that. Love Corey. That was spot on. Shedding the skin. Beautifully done. It was 5-star match. Can I say also, the commentary team brought it at WrestleMania.
The only one that I think had a couple hiccups was Jimmy Smith. Everybody else, I think, was awesome.
I agree with that, but I think everybody else being awesome kind of lifted Jimmy up a little bit. I think that was his first Mania, so that is a big moment to step. You're going to have those mistakes.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to happen.
We have those mistakes every week, Jenks. So.
Well, exactly. I mean, how many times have I called Bryan Danielson Daniel Bryan? God. But, yeah, so I think the commentary team was on point. I'm going to give it a 5-year match as well.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Seth yelling, "This is my company. This is my..." I did love this match. But again,
Seth was the perfect opponent for this.
Yeah. Well, Cody actually handpicked him. I read for the last essentially week and a half now that Cody said that we have history, this, that, and the other. They've worked together, so they know they can talk it over and all that without ruining, getting into moments that we shouldn't on behind a curtain today, because we're sending love to WrestleMania. Overall, great match. Why not announce that there's 78,000 people there? The little things piss me off. You're announced 77,899. Just fucking say there's 78,000 people here. Count the workers for the love of Christ. I don't care.
You gotta go with exact ticket sales because you'll have those marks that are just out there picking you apart. Oh, their gate was only 78,995 or some bullshit like that. I don't know.
We roll into Flair against Rousey, and this was not the main event. This should have not been the main event. We've been talking about it for weeks. This was a rough match. Jenks, I think you brought it up. I think Ronda needed a little more work to shake it off. Mm-hmm. I think maybe their next match will be better, but this was, I don't know. Did your peacock go black for a split second? Because I think essentially, and I don't know this, and I'm not going to look for it because it's not my part, but I think there might have been a nip slip or something in this match that, holy hell, I don't know. I didn't like it either, honestly.
I was not for this match. I felt, so this is going to backtrack a little bit, but I felt there was certain matches that needed to be placed in different positions on this card. Because I meant to say this during the Cody and Seth match. I think there needed to be a filler in between Becky, Bianca, and Seth and Cody to get the crowd down.
Yep.
And then build back up. This match, unfortunately for them, I get that they pushed it as a main event. It was not the main event. It was never in my mind should have been the main event. It felt like a filler to me. And it felt like a palate cleanser because we knew what was coming next. And I know we said, we weren't watching it to know big moments in that. But at the end of the day, I just never bought into this feud fully. It felt like they just rehashed the WrestleMania from 2019. I think it was 35 at that, WrestleMania 35. They rehashed that storyline but eliminated Becky from it.
Yeah.
And so it didn't sell me on it. So I didn't get invested in this. And the work overall was not great. I was surprised and a little pissed that Charlotte won.
Me too.
But I guess this is a way to get him to the I Quit match that we now know is going to happen at WrestleMania Backlash.
So on that, let me throw a question at you. Because Roman doesn't have an opponent right now. Could we do without Roman on a pay-per-view? And is this kind of a little bit of a stroke because they took the main event status? And I'm still pissed about that for the women. Ronda was kind of pissed about it. Flair didn't really say anything. But Ronda wins the Rumble. You are going to main event a night of WrestleMania. We hear that for 3.5 months. Right. 2 weeks before, all right, you're not main eventing it anymore. Main eventing is going to Stone Cold and KO, which, yes, by the way, once we get to it, yes. So do they now put this as the main event on Backlash since they've already announced, and again, fast forwarding to SmackDown, that it's going to be an I Quit match at Backlash between these two?
Yeah, it's starting. I initially thought that was going to. In my mind, I'm like, this has got to be the main event. This is how they give Ronda a main event back. Yes, it's not WrestleMania main event.
It's WrestleMania Backlash, though.
And still has WrestleMania in the name, so it fulfills the contract.
Right.
I think that goes into my theory of Reigns. I don't think Reigns is 100% right now. But we can get into that later. But I think, to your point, I think they could sacrifice Reigns not being at the pay-per-view. If he is truly injured, then yeah, it's going to be Ronda. It's going to be main eventing. Ronda and Charlotte. I mean, there's nowhere else for that to go. And I feel like there's only one way that match ends. And I'm going to be surprised when it doesn't end that way.
Yeah.
So, beer-wise for this one, 2.
I was going to say 2.5.
Okay.
I gave a little bit of a doubt because maybe I'm an idiot and I worry about the ring rust that Ronda still has because she's not shaking it off. It wasn't great, but it wasn't me against you in the ring rolling around looking like fucking idiots just trying to have fun in the ring. So essentially, I go 2, so we're on the same level at least. 2.5 because I lost a lot for the story too. I could talk myself down to a 1 if I wanted to, but I won't.
Yeah, I'll give him some credit, and that's kind of why I said 2. Was there's still some ring rust. I think Ronda needs to have more matches on SmackDown
Prior to Backlash.
Prior to Backlash, she should have had it before that, to just shake off that rust.
Yep.
Just to give her the confidence, because sometimes it's not just the rust; it's the confidence building. You know, your first time back in the ring after, I think it was ended up 2 years, 3 years now.
Yeah,
and you're going to have not only rust but confidence issues going out in front of those crowds and performing, because this is a different animal than UFC. Yes, UFC, you have strategy, but you're not picking spots in a match. You know what I mean? You're performing. You're performing in this match instead of just going in and knocking somebody's lights out.
Yeah.
So you have to perform. You have to do it in a safe way. There's a lot going on in that. And that's no knock against Ronda. She just needed more time to get into that ring shape, if you will.
Brings us up the main event. KO show has Stone Cold on it. And this is where some of us are going to differ. And I mean some of us, Can Crusher Nation, maybe me and Jenks, maybe other people. Yes, there was a referee. Yes, there was a pinfall. Yes, there was essentially what you may call a match. This was not a match to me. This was a glorified, and it's no knock on either one of them, because what they did, they did not steal the show to me, but they partially stole the second half of the show. Okay, I'll put it like that. The tail end of the show. This moment for KO and Stone Cold was unfucking believable, and I will grade it different than I grade a match. So me looking back and say, oh my God, I love this. This is 6 beers for me, because it did everything I needed it. But it's not a match to me. Yes, there was a pinfall and everything, so that's my thought. It's 6 out of 6 beers, unfucking believable, but it's not a match.
It was a swan song. It was just, it's time to ride off into the sunset. I agree to your point on that. Technically, in the terms of WWE, it was a match. But in my mind, it was nostalgia. It was beautifully done. And it was done for shock and I still love it. It was, I mean, we thought a match was coming or some sort of glorified brawl was coming out of this, right?
Right.
So we knew that coming in. When they said match, what did you instantly think when they said match? 3 to 5 minutes?
Yep.
Quick brawl around the ring?
I didn't see Stone Cold getting suplexed on the outside.
Did not either. Did not see him suplex on concrete, throwing suplexes on stages, driving up the stage half drunk with the KO hanging on the damn four-wheeler.
He drank a case of beer, by the way.
He did. And
not 12 ounces. Fucking pounders.
Those were pounders of his beer.
Right.
Which are not just Coors Light or Natty Light.
No.
He was pounding fucking beers left and right. And it was entertaining as all hell. It was classic Stone Cold. It lit a fire. You gave it 6 beers. I wanted to crack into a second 6-pack at that one.
Yep.
I'll say 6 beers to keep it in the 6-pack, but I would have cracked a second one to keep grading it. It was great, and it was 15 minutes of chaos because it was something you didn't expect. We talked about the concrete spots, table spots, whatever you want. It was good.
We did a shot. We said if a ref actually comes out, we're going to do a shot because we're going to get a match. Then we did 2 shots. One during it. We're like, we got to do one more because this was what it... So this was actually a 6-beer, 3-shot match for me and my buddies that were here.
So what was funny was I start cackling uncontrollably because he starts drinking during the so-called match. And I'm like, I don't know why I lost it when he started drinking. That's just a giddy kid in me, right?
Right.
But she starts laughing too.
Not knowing why.
Not knowing why. She's just like, I can't believe this guy's drinking during this. And I'm like, if you only knew the history behind this, it'd be even more hilarious to you. And then...
I'm so jealous of you right now.
It was so... I know. I keep talking about it too, but... so sorry, King Crushers Nation, but you're getting that because I'm experiencing this. But it was it was such a nostalgia trip for me. It took me back to my childhood, and I told her I'll show her the clip someday of the beer truck coming down. I'll show her the Zamboni ride because she was laughing during the four-wheeler ride up the ramp. I said, "Wait till you see the beer truck and the Zamboni thing." And then I told her about Bedpan McMahon, and she's like, "Are you kidding me right now?"
Do you think she's going to look any of these up while she's on vacation and ruin some of your thunder? Would you be pissed?
I don't know if I'd be pissed or proud, to be honest. I'd be proud, because why would you wait? To me, I probably would have looked it up.
I would have looked it up by already.
Honestly, and I'm surprised if she did and didn't say anything, I'd be surprised too, but she's a nice person, so she probably did and was going to let me do it anyways. But but it was just watching this. I felt like a kid again, watching this all over again. And did you see the producers told him not to put up the middle fingers, and he kept doing it anyways?
Right. Really? Are you really going to tell him that?
I want to know who thought that was a good idea and thought it was going to work.
Right.
Like, I will take beer away for those producers because, we can't do that anymore. Yeah, tell Stone Cold that. The biggest name in wrestling history. And we can debate on that till live long day. But Austin, you're going to tell him not to put up the middle finger.
That's his whole gimmick. Yeah.
It was his whole gimmick. That's his whole shtick. He drinks beer, flips people off. He's a blue-collar guy. That's your demographic you're basically preaching to.
So do you think they retold him again on Monday? Because we're going to go to night 2, and we'll make reference now. He comes back out. But do you think they reminded him on night 2, hey, remember, last night, okay, you might have been caught up into it, but you can't do it tonight. You go fuck yourself, he probably said to them, and he does it again.
I think they might have, or they just were like, or Vince was like, don't even fucking try.
Yeah,
it's not even worth it. It's not going to happen. Good try. I heard you guys try it before, but it's not going to happen.
So we move on to night 2 of WrestleMania, which we say is, wrestling terms and maybe entertainment, is a lot better. And I think everything brought it in this night.
Yep.
And it started with tears for me, honestly. Because of Triple H setting his boots down and then hugging his kids. Dad moment. And I'm like, God, at first I'm like, why are you doing this at Mania? You should get a fucking half an hour on a show to do this.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't like doing that. And that's the way, essentially, he wanted to do it and peace out. So I cried.
And I feel like, to your point, he doesn't like to do that stuff. I feel like he was made to do that. And not in a negative tone, but they're like, you need to just go out there.
Yeah.
We want you to have your moment with the fans and that. And he didn't say much when he did it.
No.
He said his piece. It was quick. He put his boots in the ring. And then he went and hugged his family because that's what he really wanted to do. And that I think that should show to the fans how humble he was about that moment and how maybe humbling the whole incident last year was to him. It really put things in perspective for him.
Yeah.
And, for all the chaos and all the dickery and bullshit that he's pulled over the years, it was a somber moment. And truly, at WrestleMania 38, when you look at it, that was the end of the era that we were promised at WrestleMania. What was it, 28, 29, whatever that was, when it was him and Taker and Shawn. Yeah. Taker, Hall of Fame. Triple H retires. Austin Swan Song. That's what WrestleMania 38 to me overall became. And that's not detracting from anybody. That's just what it became because it was that was the moment.
Yeah.
Those were the moments. It put to rest our childhoods in such a great fashion. They could have botched it horrendously several times. But at the end of the day, it was beautifully done. And I kind of sat in silence for a couple minutes until we started getting everybody out for the opening match.
Yeah, it was end of high school for me, essentially. Yep. Triple threat match starts it off, and everybody on here knows that I'm, again, not a huge fan of triple threat because 9 out of 10, somebody's napping for 10 minutes, gets energized, comes back in. This didn't happen in this tag team match, Jenks.
Mm-mm. Did not.
And I didn't hate anybody in this tag team match overall, which, there's two teams I really don't care for, and the third lingers up and down anyway. Shocking, awe, and the finish was fucking epic.
Yeah.
And we have still tag team champions, and I didn't pick them.
I didn't either. I thought we were getting I thought I picked Street Profits. So
I did too.
I was completely surprised by it. I think now maybe it's WWE ribbing us because we're all expecting RK Bro to break up. I don't know if they are.
I don't know. They're making
They're
them money hands over fit whatever the hell.
Hand over foot, yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. Busy, high action. I don't want to say there's not much to say about this because there's a lot to say about it, but you can't break it down because there was no dead moment in this match.
No.
Just to know that RK Bro continues as champions, and then they get a Gable Stevenson moment at the end, which I didn't care about.
Yeah, I wasn't big on the Gable on Gable violence at the end, to be honest. But it's the way to put him over, I guess. It is what it is. I mean, they've been hyping him for a year and a half now, this Gable Stevenson, so he had to get some action at some point.
Right.
But yeah, there was no dead moment. Nothing really happening here. Everything happened here, to be honest. But yeah, I didn't know. I had a thought and it just completely went, so I'm going to stop rambling now. But yeah. Oh, finally, so night one, their opening tag match couldn't deliver. Injury, it couldn't get the crowd hyped. Night two's brought it. And I think it shows how much an injury can derail things in a match. Because to me, this was the perfect match to kick off WrestleMania for night two. And I think that's what really carried me to believe night two was a lot better than night one.
And I think the lineup, as we look ahead, the lineup was perfect in a sense. This was a 4-beer match for me. Nothing epic that I might not remember it in a year or two, but I'll remember the RK Bro one with the essentially double RK Bros off of the RKOs off the top rope. That's a moment that you will remember. Anything else in the match? I don't know. Maybe that's how Gable Stevenson got it started. Whatever. Then you really bring it down. Oh, what was your ranking? I'm sorry.
I was going 4, 2, 3. No craziness. I agree with you on that.
Yeah. Then you bring it down hard. Like this is, but I'm gonna grade this match decent. You bring it down from major action to just two fucking brick walls running into each other.
Yeah.
Shock and awe that Bob got the win here. But as we look forward, makes sense now. We didn't know this going in or anything about it, but I didn't care for the match because I don't like Omos at all. But what it did, Bob had some moments, and I'm like, holy shit, he can even lift him. Bob's a big guy that slaps meat.
Yeah.
It's a 3 for me. It's still only a Raw match or a SmackDown match or anything like that, but it did what it needed to do, essentially. And I lost because I picked Omos.
I think I picked Bob in this one.
You are fucking kidding me. Seriously, I don't remember.
I can't remember, to be honest. I don't want to say that. You know what? Don't even count it because I'm
not counting yours. I'm only writing mine down. Then we're going to count them up at the end. So you do what you want to do. You can lie to me.
All right. I'm fairly certain I picked Bob in this one. Well, here's my thought process behind it. And if I didn't, somebody correct me. Because you don't bring Bob back a week before Mania to have him job to Omos. Unless there was something else in foot, which they didn't do until the night after WrestleMania.
Right.
So to me, I think it was just further solidifying what Bob is. You gave it a 3. I gave it a 2.5. this was your typical Jericho night match 2 of the night to kind of kill the crowd, right?
It killed the crowd.
It killed the crowd and brought him back down to its lows. So to me, it didn't do anything for me except Bob can lift this gigantuan man, essentially. Despite everything that happened on Monday night, I'm not looking forward to the rematch when that comes, to be honest.
Not at all. No.
Yeah, this was a 2.5, and I'll give it 2.5 right now, just because it reestablished Bob as a serious, legit threat.
And then the next moment, again, see how, again, this is not a match for me. Because way too much went on. Again, in WWE's terms, Sami Zayn lost to Johnny Knoxville. But this was so fucking fun. This was so fun to watch. And you could have said, hey, Knoxville's going to fight, I don't know, anybody else. Mansoor, this, that, and the other thing. I might have been like, oh, Sammy was the perfect person to do this. Reading some stuff over the last week now, they said this is going to taint Sami Zayn's career. Sammy himself said he loved this. He can't compare it to when he fought Danielson or any of the guys in ROH or Steen and stuff like that, because it's not that. This, again, as I will say, it's a moment, not a match. And I loved it. From Wee Man to Party Boy to the horrible foot thing that didn't work to the giant hand to the mouse trap that weighed 10,000 tons, but 4 guys could lift it up, to Sami Zayn getting trapped under it, but Johnny Knoxville actually got hit by the trap, and it didn't hurt him at all. Little things Mark's just picking on, but it was all in great fun. I got it wrong, because we both thought Sammy was going to win, because you're like, where the hell is this going to go with Knoxville? It doesn't need to go anywhere else, right?
Right. Yeah, it doesn't. It was great fun. That's exactly what this is. And I saw some of the criticism about saying, but let's take a step back. In your wildest dreams, when you knew Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens were going to be in this company, do we realize how trusted they are as competitors in this company? Because think about it. Kevin Owens was trusted with Stone Cold's final match. That's fantastic. That's its own moment. Sami Zayn's trusted with Johnny Knoxville and all of his stupidity and friends and anything they can come up with in a wrestling match. But he's trusted not to hurt Johnny Knoxville.
Yeah.
If that doesn't impress you of what Sami Zayn can do in a ring to make it look so much better. Yeah, you're right. It wasn't a match. It was a spot fest of calamity of things that was just great, besides the stupid boot, which I don't even understand. You should have just kicked him in the crotch in the first place.
Right.
I thought that was the
How
dumbest
does that
thing
even
ever.
hurt? How does that even hurt?
But they trusted them so much with a lot of this match in these two guys. It was just great fun. This was supposed to be stupid.
Yeah, and it
was. It
was
was supposed to be stupid fun, and it was. It was exactly that. I was laughing. Moochie was crying in tears. He actually texted me right before the women's match and was like, hey, and I go, are you okay over there? And he goes, I am still crying from what just happened in that match. Like, it was, and he was crying laughing because of how stupid it was. Mark, how much did you pop for Party Boy when he came out?
I was a giant child this whole match. I actually danced like Party Boy a little bit too, just to let you know that.
Oh God!
I kept my clothes on though. I kept my clothes on.
Well, thank goodness. But I will say, when I saw Pontius and Party Boy, I'm like, I jumped out of my chair. Like, I wasn't expecting Pontius to be there. Wee Man, I figured something was gonna. I figured because he showed up at the Rumble,
right?
So I figured he was going to be there in some capacity. But how about the slam by Wee Man?
That's bigger than Hogan and Andre's.
And Andre, I was going to say, the biggest moment in WrestleMania history just took place there.
Yeah.
But it was stupid fun. I loved every minute of it. I also loved that I got to yell a 7-10 split again because Sami Zayn took it in the groin. So just stupid.
It put the E in entertainment.
It did put the E in entertainment, yeah. They got the F out and put the E in entertainment.
Again, it was a moment for me.
Yeah.
Not as high as the Stone Cold one. So
Right.
This is a 5. This is a 5.
Yeah, I'll give it a 5 too. Yeah, not as great as Stone Cold because Stone Cold nostalgia. It was a wrestling event type thing. This was just stupid fun that made everybody laugh.
Next up, we bring it back down. But we don't bring it down that far because I actually enjoyed the Fatal 4-Way women's match. I got it wrong. My team essentially never, I think, was legally in the ring. I picked Shayna and Nat to win. They were in when everybody was in. They were mixing it around. I don't think legally they were both in at all. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't care.
I don't remember. Yeah.
Yeah. I do remember you said you were going with Liv and Ripley because to accentuate both of them. None of us saw Sasha and Naomi coming out with it, but I'm all right with it now. I am. Until we lead to Monday. Again, everything leads to this past week of wrestling that happened because a lot of shit happened, but nothing happened.
Right. And I'm good with them getting the victory as well. I think as long as they can put the tag team titles in some sort of procedure, I think they put two great performers in that position to do that, but they're not going to because it's WWE. But now after Monday, we now see what's going to happen to my pick of the match, which was Rhea and Liv. Something's going on there, and I feel like we're going to turn next Monday. Spoilers.
Yeah, when they get their title shot.
When they get their title shot, and I just think it's going to, if the rumors are true, I'm going to love the shift in direction with it. That being said, that's tomorrow. That's out of the way. It was a good match. It was a fun match. It wasn't as fun as what was going on before. It definitely brought the room and recentered it. Hey, this is a wrestling event, not a freaking Jackass episode. So let's recenter ourselves. The women brought it. Yeah, it was good. It did what it had to do. But again, once again, possibly after tomorrow, we're only going to have maybe two of these teams intact.
Yep. Yep. I can't give it 4, so I have to give it 3.5.
I'm going to give it 3, but a positive 3. I don't want to give it a 3.5. I'm thinking 3 right here.
Okay.
It did what it had to do, and I think it recentered everybody that, hey, we're in a wrestling show right now.
Yep. Edge against AJ. AJ comes out bleeding. Nobody understands why. What the fuck's going on? Edge has a really cool entrance. This is where both of them are in blue, so you don't know who the face, who the fucking heel is.
Yep.
This is all throw stuff away because it doesn't mean anything. Great match. Match of the night. If you want to say overall, this is the most technical, the best rated match of the night. Again, I'll throw mine out. It's 5 right off the bat. This was a 5 beer match for me. I lost it at the end because I think the transition could have happened more on Raw and gave a clean finish instead of having Priest out there to fuck up a WrestleMania moment.
Yeah. I guess in hindsight, it kind of was a throwback moment of sorts in the feud with AJ Styles because Priest and AJ have had a couple scraps over the U.S. title, right?
Right.
So I think that kind of threw it back a little bit. I agree with you. I don't think he needed to just pop up here in this match. We could have gotten there on Monday night and assembled what now seems to be the next group, or in Brody King's terms, the Make-or-Wish.com version of the House of Black. But I think over this match was great. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to give it a 5 too. I can't put anything. I'm going to spoil this right now. I'm not putting anything at 5.5.
No, me neither.
Becky and Bianca is the only one that got out there for me. So outside of that, I think Edge and Styles, I love the false finishes. You're right about the technically sound. That was one of the notes I wrote, was because this was the technical match. And I love that a lot of the Edge's matches since he came back from the neck surgery have been more technical based and have been really more ingrained in pure wrestling per se. Really a lot of technician based wrestling for Edge. And this was just puts further, I don't know, cherry on top of the sundae if you want, or whipped cream on top of it, whatever you want to call it. But I think that kind of helps accentuate it a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. All right, moving ahead, this is where they throw in New Day, Sheamus, and Ridge, and we can't talk about it as long as the match was, Jenks. So we have to be quick on this.
I think we have to. No. But so this was a -1 for me. I would not drink on this match because it wasn't a match. And what pisses me off...
And it wasn't a moment either, by the way.
It wasn't a moment either.
And we didn't pick this match, so nothing can go wrong in this match besides our picks.
Right, exactly. And I think, so purposely, I hated it because they took away from Big E's tribute that they kind of did with his outfits and that. They basically stuck it in a bathroom break, a minute bathroom break. And I'm sorry, guys. If you were only going to give it 2 minutes on the main show, then this would be the exception to put it on the kickoff show and give them 15.
You had 4 hours of fucking kickoff show. And
give them a match on it.
Even if you know, oh shit, we messed it up on Saturday. Bailey's pissed off. You messed it up on Saturday. All right, guys, we're going to shift you to the pre-show on Sunday and give you 15, 20 minutes. Do your thing. Because we don't need to talk about Brock and Lesnar, Roman and Lesnar for 45 minutes. You guys can take some of that away because we're going to show it again during the main show. They didn't. This is definitely, -1 would be pissed about this. So I have to give it a -2, not to even have any fucking connotation with poor -1 over on AEW.
You know what? That's a great point. Yeah, I'll give it -2 too. Because let's not put a damper on -1.
Right. This was horseshit. For everybody involved, even Butch was just standing there. This was horse shit for all 5 competitors.
To me, leave it off the show and give them to it on SmackDown. If you're not willing to give them the fight on at least the pre-show of WrestleMania, then don't even put it on the show. Because you're not giving them a service here. You're not doing them any favors. This was, to your point, a disservice, and it honestly was a disrespectful move.
It was. So, moving on. Pat McAfee against Austin Theory. Pat can work. Austin can work. I just don't know. Like, this match hit, but it didn't hit. We get Vince afterwards, and then I think Vince coming afterwards kind of... Because I was going to say Pat and Austin was a match. And then we got a moment afterwards. And we got another moment after the moment. This was way too long then. If everything was known and scripted, which it is, I think the match itself between Pat and Austin should have been shorter. To do everything that we were doing afterwards. Because that seemed long then, too. So, in essence, this is only getting a 3 from me.
Okay. Agree with Pat can work. Pat McAfee has proven time and time again that he can just basically do anything he wants and that he puts his mind to, because that seems to be the case. I was okay with the length of the match because I thought that delivered upon it. The Vince McMahon bullshit afterwards should have never happened. And I think that took up 5 minutes that could have been given a New Day. Yeah. I think Vince could accomplish the same thing he accomplished by beating up Pat McAfee afterwards and leading an attack to get Austin out there. I think that would have accomplished whatever Vince was going to, besides stroking his own ego. To me, that aftermath, so you're lumping it all together. And I'll do that as well, but here's what I'll say. In terms of the match, I'm giving it, I'm going to go 4 because I did enjoy the Austin Theory Pat McAfee match. Because I thought Cole's commentary on point.
Yeah.
Cheering for
Cole
Pat
had a
McAfee.
fucking blast, by the way.
Cole was having a blast, having everything. Then you have Pat McAfee, the freaking flip off the rope, jump onto the rope to throw a suplex. Just everything he was doing was hitting spot on. I was impressed by Austin Theory because I'm like, oh my God, they're putting Austin Theory in this. This was a bigger WrestleMania match and a bigger WrestleMania moment. Theory impressed me during it. If I were to go afterwards, the chairman brings it down because there was no point for Vince McMahon to be in a match against Pat McAfee at WrestleMania besides stroke his own ego. I think that took 5 minutes too long. The Austin save was great. And Vince McMahon's lovable falling over after
that was a horrible stun.
That was just horrible. You couldn't go anywhere. Match itself. Let me go back. Match itself 4. Vince McMahon shaking hand against -3.
Wow.
the stunner portion of it with Austin coming back out that brought it back up. So I think I'm averaging it at about 3.5. Where I'm coming in at for this whole overall segment.
That's Steiner math right there.
That's Steiner math. I was going to get to 66 3/2% too if I needed to. But did you like Austin Theory sell of the stunner?
No, he sold it worse than HBK. Like I laughed. Don't get me wrong, I laughed, but holy shit, dude!
I think it gets more hate than it should. To be honest, I didn't mind it. I thought it was very cartoonish, though.
Yes.
So that sell. I laughed too. It was very cartoonish to sell. I guess I can appreciate the effort. Who knows? Go ahead.
Did you see Mankind, Mick Foley, Dude Love, whoever the fuck you wanted to be called? Yeah. Did you see his reaction to the stunner that Vince got?
Yeah, I did.
Oh my God.
Dude, cackling, and I loved every minute of it, as it should be, because that was just a calamity of bullshit. And hey, props to WWE's edit team for editing that better the next night when they showed that clip.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah. Pat McAfee had the sell of the night for the stunner.
Oh, yes.
And
I was going
to
use that as a thumbnail, but way too much else happened.
Yeah, and then just sitting outside drinking on the ground while he's passed out was hilarious too. So overall, I give it 3.5.
Yeah, the moments I enjoyed not the elongated McMahon McAfee moment, but right. I enjoyed the Stone Cold stuff at the end. I did.
Yeah.
All right, wrapping up WrestleMania is Roman and Brock, and we both had Roman, I think. Yeah, I know I did. Essentially, we knew what was going to happen. We just didn't know how we were going to get there. I liked the ending. Again, I don't know if I was then tired or what. 3.5 for me. 3.5 because it wasn't. I think there was better Roman Brock matches, and I never thought Brock was going to win this. So there was never a thought of switching.
Yeah, I agree with that. This seemed more like I mean this in the terms of what they did in the match. This seemed like a Brock Goldberg WrestleMania match in the terms of it was big move after big move after big move, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe a better comparison is Drew versus Brock, where it's just F5 and Claymore. That's what this match felt like to me. So I agree with you, 3.5. We didn't think it was going to get anywhere close to it. I don't know if Roman is injured
hurt.
Or not.
I think he is.
I agree with that because his arm was red, and I don't think he could have lifted his arm. And the way he was talking to Heyman, you don't just say that, right?
Yeah.
I almost feel like there was supposed to be more to come out of that. There was more to that match, but they had to end it.
It ended
because of that.
Prior to I thought it was going to go to midnight, and if we're looking at time, it ended about I don't know, maybe like 10 minutes early.
Yeah, I feel like that match was supposed to be longer, but because of whatever happened to Roman, they had to shorten it. It had to end.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. I don't know if we're going to see Roman wrestle at all, even at WrestleMania Backlash, because if he tore a pec in these past 2 nights of the Raw and SmackDown, where it's been essentially, I'll tell you next time, right? Ryan came out and goes, I'll talk to you on Friday about it. And then on Friday, we started getting the tag titles. Nakamura came out. We were bleeding a little bit here, but then it was more of, it just never felt like things are getting resoluted because they're not sure where he is injury-wise.
Yep.
Like they're still getting things checked out and scoped out to see what exactly the extent of the injury is.
Agreed. All right, let's do our count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 8 right.
I have 7, so you beat me still.
So I retain my 6-pack.
Yep, you do retain your 6-pack.
Nice.
Until next time.
Next time it'll be on the line will be AEW Double or Nothing.
Double or Nothing,
So,
which I hope they get it back.
well, you've never had it. You've never had it, so you can't get it back until you win it once.
You know, I just want the 6-pack, and that's about it. I will get that 6-pack. I quitter's not.
All right. Break time. Collar and elbow. Use Can Crushers. All one word. Capital C and Can. Capital C and Crushers. You save 10%. The rest of the stuff we'll tell you at the end of the show. Quick break. Recap of Raw and SmackDown. We're going to be pushing AEW quickly as well. So, yeah. Holy shit. We're long.
Wrestling. A love and a passion we all share. I've started a wrestling brand. The wrestling brand. A brand founded on the aspects of wrestling. 2 entities working together to create a product that connect emotionally for people everywhere. Collar and Elbow is the brand. Passion and love for wrestling is the drive. I am Al Snow, and this is Collar and Elbow, the wrestling brand.
This is Gemma Jules, the 6-foot bombshell, and I am on here with Mark from the Can Crushers podcast. Make sure you check them out for a new episode every Wednesday.
And welcome back to Can Crushers. We're ready to dive into this week's show. The Raw and SmackDown after Mania. Jenks has cracked a beer. He's ready to go.
Yeah.
It is cherry wheat. I'm jealous.
Yeah.
I don't have that right now. I actually need to get some beers in the house.
I was surprised when I saw it in store. I'm like, oh, it is that time of year, and I'm definitely getting it. So
It's
this
delicious.
is fantastic. It's very good.
One of my favorites.
I would agree. It's one of my nice. You have those beers that you like to just drink. It's like a session. You can drink them in unison, drink them one right after another. It's perfect. That's what I like about it.
Jenks, Raw is usually crazy as all hell after WrestleMania. Did you get that vibe this year?
No.
I didn't either.
And maybe that's because they tried to put all the craziness into one return. And that one return, well, I guess was a debut, to be honest, of Ezekiel. Maybe they thought that was going to take up the mass craziness that was going to happen, that would happen on the Raw after Mania. But no, there was nothing. It felt like a Raw.
Yeah.
After maybe a regular pay-per-view.
I will go back to what Al Snow said. If you're in the ring and you're on TV, you're at least getting paid. So if that's what that's paraphrasing it. He says it better during the Spotlight show. If you want to go back and listen to it from 2 years ago, tough plug. Essentially, though, like, what the fuck are they doing with Elias? This is the thing. I think this is the first time that Logan Shulo from IWC has shaved in 10 years, and it's not a look that I want to see on the poor guy. This is horrible.
He looked rough with a shaved beard. Not to be mean to Elias, but it did not look right. But, excuse me, from what I saw and also read, I guess when he had the trunks on last year, he looked too much like Macho Man. So Vince made him shave it.
Yeah.
Is what I heard or what I read. So I did not like it. I guess I kind of was popping a little too much between Owens questioning that he's not Elias.
Yes,
I laughed at that.
Eric Anderson, whatever your name is.
Yeah. Eric, Aaron, whatever. I thought that was great, and I think that also helped address what we were all thinking. So I think that's why it propped me. Was Kevin Owens was like, "This is just bullshit. What are you doing?" But I guess we'll see what Ezekiel's plan is. I hope that he's like a harmonica player of some sort, or plays like a cowbell, a harp. Yes, harp. That would be perfect. Let's get him playing a harp. And just running down the cities that he's in. Or maybe he doesn't. Maybe he's the angel and the lights is the dark side of him.
So we're getting two faces of Elias. Great.
Could we get a cinematic match between them?
Yes.
Ezekiel
hopefully they did it prior to him shaving, because are you going to get one of those TikTok filters on his beard,
you know
on
what?
his face?
Yes, I want them to do the reverse of what they did to Superman in the Justice League movie. Instead of putting a fake chin on him, you put in a fake beard.
Yes.
And have the fight. I think that would be, you might as well just go full bore on it.
What did you think? We're going to touch hot spots here, folks. What did you think of Cody's whole speech? To me, it hit because he brings up his dad and wanting that title. But it was, what I've read, very well scripted as well.
Well, I think it hit on all the points. I don't know if it was well scripted or not. I'm going to go off your word that it was. Then he heavily influenced what was scripted in that. I don't think this was done without him.
I don't either. Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, he was his own writer for it. And I think he put in the bullet points and his talking points and he scripted it because there was too much emotion and too much into that for that just be handed to him from a random writer in the back. I almost teared up during it. There's a lot of emotional moments for it. You know, you can make a lot of connections with your family and that, depending on where you come from and your background. I thought it was a very well done speech. I also like that afterwards, it wasn't physicality between him and Rollins.
They shook hands.
It wasn't a back and forth. It was a shake hands moment. Rollins left. It created that, well, that was weird. What's he really doing moment for you? But it also created we're not going to take away from this speech, this welcome back speech on Raw, your first night back. We're not going to take away from that by doing something else to it. So I think that they executed that segment perfectly.
Yeah, I agree. We're skipping around because there's some stuff that doesn't. It'll play more into next week, and maybe we can jump more on that. Like even the Sasha Naomi and Liv and Ripley thing. There's already a force between them, but I think we're gonna deep dive into it more next week. So I want to. Braun Baker wins the NXT title back. I don't know if anybody cares about that.
I don't know why they did it on Raw and they didn't do it at Stand and Deliver 2 nights earlier, or
right.
2 days earlier. That was my only question on that.
I do like that Carmella and Corey get their Edge and Lita moment because they've always said, especially on their podcast, bear with us, that they want to have sex on TV. Clearly, that's not the time to have sex on TV anymore like Edge and Lita did, but they at least did what they did. That was literally one of the things they wanted to do, so I'm glad they got to at least make out.
Happiness all around.
Happiness all around. What else do I have that I want to bring in? And you can talk about whatever you want to. I guess the Roman thing being out at the end, my big notes here is no wrestling fan gives two shits about box office draws and box office money. And essentially, this is where it's still another point to what's going to happen. And I believe it's just, here comes the reset for next year's WrestleMania. I don't care. I'm going to stay it until it's proven wrong. It's going to be Roman Rock because box office is linked to Rock right now. He gets the box office draws. He gets the box office money. Right?
Right? I'm saying with a question mark because I don't know.
Okay.
Do they bring him? Here's my thought. If they bring him in, it would not involve the title.
No.
But I don't know how you get the title off of Roman because they have not built anybody up, unless you count Cody, because he hasn't been in the system for more than 2 weeks right now. There's nobody there that can take the title off of him.
Right.
So unless they're planning for the big blow off at SummerSlam to be Cody Roman and Cody takes the title off of him, I don't know how you get the title off of Roman. I also don't know if Rock would make the move to come back, but it's in Hollywood. He doesn't have to leave far from home. So why not?
Yeah, I just don't understand why Heyman was... Nobody gave two shits about the box office numbers, but it was a message that had to be spoken that night.
Yeah.
We never mentioned it before. So.
Well, it had to be mentioned there, but I also think to that point, you've been talking about how you're the best wrestler, you're the great... Well, you just beat the other champion. So what's your other talking point in wrestling now?
Right.
I'm greater than AEW. You can't say that. You're not going to say that on TV.
No.
So you got to go to the next best thing, which is the box office draw. And that's probably what we're going to hear. To your point, it could lead into The Rock coming in to the picture. It might not. I don't know. But
yeah, that's all. Everything's ending with a question right now with Roman because I don't know. Nobody's built up to take this title from him, and I will even throw Cody in. He's not. Yeah. I think him and Seth are going to have a pretty fucking cool little story for a while, and I'm all right with it.
Yeah, and I think to throw monkey wrench into that whole thing, we don't know how long. If Roman's truly severely injured, we don't know how long he's going to be out for.
Right. And I hope he's not on injured or not. I hope he's not on Backlash. I think he's gotten that time off that. There needs to be a little bit of a spin on Backlash, and it's still me waving the flag of the women. They did not get their... They had 3 matches at WrestleMania. They did not get their due diligence at WrestleMania.
No.
What else did you see on Raw? Bob and Omas?
Well, I mean, that was... They should have did that at WrestleMania. I feel like to give that match a little more pizzazz, but... MVP turned on Bob. Veer came. Nobody cared. Veer came out, destroyed. The Lions came, and nobody gave a flying fuck. So Veer's here to attack the Mysterios, who have just essentially been a punching bag for how long now?
Yeah.
I guess I don't...
He's done already. He's done.
The whole... If he would have came out and attacked a bigger... somebody else, fine, great, whatever. But he attacked the Mysterios, who were still reeling from a loss. They had just buried Dominic in a 3-second match to The Miz. And now you have Veer. This whole build-up for him coming was for nothing.
To take on a young child.
To take on a young child just starting in the business.
Yeah.
Come out, attack Dolph. Come out and attack Bob. Hell, I would have paid for him to attack Bob more than anything. An MVP aligned with Veer.
Yeah.
No Moss and Bob. Because to me, that would have been a bigger impact. I feel like this buildup of 17 months of him traveling from, I believe, India or
by foot,
or wherever the hell is
by
fucking traveling from, by foot to get here should have led to a bigger attack on a better positioned person than Dominic.
Yeah. Yep. Wasted.
The Lion's been wasted.
SmackDown. Ronda starts the show, and essentially, we've already spoiled this. Challenges Flair to an I Quit match. They say no throughout the story of SmackDown. Later on in the night, Adam Pearce says, I'll make the announcement tomorrow, which was Saturday, which was yesterday. And it's been announced. So I hope that's your main event for Backlash.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't see Ronda saying I quit, so...
Yeah, right?
Yeah, so if it is, I hope it's the main event for Backlash, and I think we're just waiting for Ronda to become the champion at that point, which would then further piss me off because you just gave Charlotte a win at WrestleMania just to give Charlotte a win at WrestleMania over Ronda.
Yeah, she's the first woman. Have you heard that 16 times yet? She's the first woman to beat Ronda Rousey. Ever. In anything. Even dominoes. Even when she was a child that didn't know that she was going to be an MMA star. Yeah. Charlotte Flair beat Ronda Rousey. At Tiddlywinks.
For the first time in, 3 years ago, I could have sworn that main event ended differently.
Yeah.
But maybe that's just me.
Yep.
And maybe I was drinking too much at that time. I don't know.
Yeah. Charlotte's never tapped out either. Says Sasha Banks.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say Sasha. Yeah, Sasha tapped her out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quickly on SmackDown, which was a better show as well, but I have to bitch.
Which one?
Everybody. Everybody. For the love of fuck, stop changing their names. NXT is part of NXT, or WWE.
Right.
Ludwig Borgo, whatever this fucking new guy's name is, comes out with the Grunt or the Gunther or whatever. They've all been on your show. Your goddamn product. It's not the product of a competition. You own it. Why cannot Raquel Gonzalez be Raquel Gonzalez? Now she's got to be Rodriguez. She didn't get married anytime soon. I just can't stand it. You make us watch NXT. You don't make us watch it, but you reference it. You tell us all about it. They've been on your cards before.
Yeah.
Stop. They're not different fucking people. And this is where WWE will always piss me off because of that. This is your training grounds. All right. So when Cole Carter from the IWC, who's now taken the name as Troy Donovan in WWE in general, who was on NXT up on Peacock, make sure you go watch it. When he comes up from NXT to WWE, his name better be fucking Troy Donovan, because that's who he is now in WWE. It's going to be Troy Tucker or something stupid. Stop. I'm off my box.
No, stay on your box, because it's straight up bullshit. And you brought up one of the points that I wanted to make. Gunther and Butch have both wrestled your talent before, wrestled on Survivor Series before as Walter and Pete Dunne. But let's change your names, because fuck that.
Yeah.
And somehow, and I saw somebody make the argument, well, WWE didn't own the name. Well, then talk to them, then have that discussion when they first joined. Don't change it after you've branded them in NXT for 3 years as Pete Dunne, as Walter. You let them use their names in those companies. Don't rebrand them. Who the fuck cares if you don't? Give them a different nickname. Right? Yeah. Well, Kelvin Rodriguez was the stupidest one of them all, because you've literally just changed the name to something else that ends in G.
Right.
What the fuck was the point of changing the name? And to that point, let's go even further on a tangent. Some of these people that they change the name when they come up to the main roster, they've already changed their name to join the company.
Yeah.
So you already own the name that they were in NXT. I think Marcel Barthel was changed when he joined the company, and now he's Ludwig Kaiser, which they had to change it to Kaiser because the name they had before, which I cannot remember, was apparently a Nazi. So what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
It just feels to me God damn it, we're competing against NXT. It's almost like they're saying, God damn it, we're competing against NXT, and they're whipping our butts in the ratings. When we get these people to jump, we're going to change their name. That seems like the mindset they're using when they make these decisions.
We're competing against ourselves. What the hell?
I don't know who the fuck these other people are, but we're competing against ourselves.
We're going to screw them over. What the?
Make them feel bad about themselves. That's what it feels like. And it doesn't make any goddamn sense.
None.
On a happier note, though, I did enjoy Lacey Evans' pre-tape interview.
I didn't. I could have given two shits about it.
Really?
I like her as a sassy Belle better. If she comes out looking like Corporal Kirshner next week, I'm going to be pissed off.
Now, if she does go American flag full bore, I'm going to hate it. But I do appreciate that they gave her a little bit of backstory, and it could lead to something. If she can stay Sassy Bell, but with this like military-esque background type thing going on here, I think it might work.
It might.
Because you can keep,
She's a face.
She is a face. That's fair, but you can still be sassy via face.
Yeah. You're sassy.
I am very sassy.
And you got
cracked
a face.
a beer. I got sassy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need to
I did
start
not
drinking
shave my
earlier
beard.
Sunday mornings.
Yeah, right. I did not shave my beard like Ezekiel though, so I'm not that sassy.
No. All right. I just want to get to AEW. Do you have anything else in WWE?
No, just SmackDown felt like it was after Mania SmackDown, so give that. And I know you're heartbroken about Happy Corbin and Madcap Moss breaking up, so we'll move away from it now. I know it hurts you to your soul. So
hopefully he's broke ass Corbin again next week because now he doesn't have friends. But he still has money. He didn't lose his money, so why is he pissy?
Because he didn't keep Angela. He had a special relationship with Angela.
Yeah, there's so much. All right, another quick break. We got a lot on AEW to talk about too. We'll try to keep it under 3 hours. I don't fucking know. Here we go.
This is the heir apparent Chris LaRusso, and you're listening to the Can Crushers podcast.
Welcome back, Can Crushers. And we are about to take a trip down memory lane here in the Can Crusher ride. Christian's going back 20 years. Owen Hart's back in the news. Mark, are you ready for this time trip?
Can I tell you how much I love AEW? And we do this all the time. We're like, we probably won't cover AEW a lot because it's WWE heavy. But when they come with a week like this during your WrestleMania week, holy shit! And I mean holy shit from no disrespect, the Adam Cole match on Wednesday that starts their week to the fucking Wheeler Yuta Mox match. There was some stuff bad, but there wasn't anything that I was like, I need to fast forward this.
Well, exactly. You were on the edge of your seat or watching it through and through.
Yeah. And the turntable of this, because you were going to take me on the ride, but I've just taken the keys back because it's the way I am.
You always do that.
I know. I'm sorry.
I got a black eye like Bianca had one. So,
Christian Cole was it was first time ever match. First time ever match. What a great match. And I'm glad, Jenks, that nobody came out until after the bell because it tells more of a story. More that they were waiting to attack. And I love that part. Instead of, we're going to have this really cool match between Cole and Christian, which people probably wanted to see. I didn't know I wanted to see, but I saw it now, and I'm happy that I saw it. And then it's ruined from a mass chaos. It wasn't.
That's been some of the things that have been plaguing Cole matches as of late. Is we see Red Dragon just pop up and end the match. You know what I mean? So to finally get that refreshing first time ever match, they went straight at it. No interference. Yeah, there was a low blow. You can go off that, whatever you want, or poking to the eye. Sorry, poke him in the eyes, whatever. It was at least a one-on-one affair, and it didn't take away from the match, which is what I truly enjoyed. I wanted that. I wanted to see them go one-on-one. There were so many great spots in that match. You could list through them. The biggest one that I wanted to call out was when Cole tried to attempt getting him to sucker him outside, trying to chase him around the ring, because you see it. Everybody chases everybody around the ring, right?
Right.
Christian, what's he do? Go to the other side of the ring and cut them off.
Yep. That was cool.
Great.
Yeah.
That was cool because nobody does that. They always chase them around and then they get into the whole thing. No, the crafty veteran, the wily veteran, cut him off outside, met him where he was going to be at. And that's what makes the storytelling of this match even better. Was it wasn't Cole trying to lure in somebody in his age group or with his similar experience level. This was a veteran that knew better and knew what Cole was up to. It was little tweaks like that, little things like that really, really helped kick off the week for AEW and put everybody, I think, in the expectation seat of this ain't going to be a normal week. And with AEW, sometimes it's never a normal week. They continually set the bar higher and higher upon themselves.
Right. And then when Hangman came out and he essentially makes the challenge for Adam Cole in the Texas Tornado Death Match from Hell or whatever the hell they're going to have, and he says Rampage, and I'm like, he just messed up. But no, they're actually putting this match on Rampage, which is really cool. I'm glad. Giving that little bit of a stroke. But in the same thing that I always say about Rampage, they better give them a half an hour. This better lead Rampage so they can just have filler matches after.
Agreed. And what I think they benefit from is Rampage is live next week because they're doing the Battle of the Belts taping as well. I think that same night.
Yes.
And I'm going to plug it right now so everybody knows, because I want everybody to know so they can watch it back. Rampage is at 7 next weekend. Not at 10, it's at 7. So if you try to turn it at 10, you're going to miss it. I love that they finally escalated a world title match. I know they did it back last summer with Christian and Kenny for the Impact one, but I love that they put the world title on Rampage in a stipulation-based Texas death match type of affair, because I think that finally elevates Rampage from just being the Team Taz and other people that they put on against Team Taz's show.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And that's not a disservice to them.
Yes, my point exactly.
Because it finally distinguishes, hey, we know we have this other show. We're not just going to put the same people on it every week. We're going to elevate this twofold. So we're going to say, okay, this is a world title match. It's finally elevating Rampage to just being a delegate or relegated spot for Team Taz to work in.
Yeah, I agree. I 100% agree. Downfall again, guys. Next week we will not be on weekly show because it is Easter. Enjoy yourself. We'll be enjoying ourselves. So we'll it'll be a long show again on the 24th as we kind of recap everything, probably a little bit quicker than we did WrestleMania.
We'll probably still be talking about the Texas Death Match at that point.
We will.
With the two people involved. There's going to be shit crazy going on there. But go ahead.
Samoa Joe's suicide dive he fucking committed to after having neck injuries and everything. I'm like, Joe, what are you doing? He's so good.
That's the same reaction I've had with frickin' Big E with his spear to the outside. That always looks like it's just going to harm him horribly. I thought the same thing for Joe. But I like that they that it was a squash match to get him into the Owen Hart Foundation tournament. Loved it. Got Mark. I hate to say this, but Max Caster's growing on me here. I liked his rap before the match. And
so did Joe, actually, because he brought up the X Division and everything.
Yeah, he was laughing. Joe was nodding approval during that intro.
He was.
Yeah.
It wasn't his worst one. I'll put it that way. I'm still not on board.
That's fine.
I'm still testing the waters, but it wasn't his worst one.
I think it was not his worst one. I don't think it was his best one. I think he's had other good ones, but I'm becoming a Max Caster guy. He can work. And this was a squash match. He can work, though. And I'm not going to take anything away from him.
I'm not taking anything away from his in-ring stuff. I never have. He's a great worker. But his P's and Q's once in a while piss me off.
I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not refined yet. And I think that comes with age.
Okay.
When you get more experience, it's gonna refine better. But yeah, I get
it. Blackpool Combat Club kind of had a little segment backstage. I don't think we need it's just relaying the matches that are going to be on Friday, and we'll talk a lot about them.
Yep.
Sean Dean against Sean Spears, MJF on commentary. The match itself was barely on TV, essentially.
I know. Yeah.
It was Wardlow, it was MJF, but it's still selling that picture. You're right. I think Wardlow gets his hands on him in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. He's getting closer and closer. And I think MJF's going to goat him out in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I think so.
I think on the 13th, we're going to see a little bit I don't think he's going to goat him out. I think, well, is he facing Dean next week? MJF, Sean Dean. So I think he's going to come out during that. I don't think Sean Dean's going to get that win as well because he already beat MJF once. But he's going to goat him out in Pittsburgh at least. And I don't know if it's going to be good for Wardlow or if it's going to be good for MJF.
I think in Pittsburgh it's good for Wardlow. But it's good for Wardlow for 5 minutes. And then other things happen.
Right.
Yeah. The best friends, Trent Yuta thing, I think that leads up into the combat that we're going to talk about.
Yep.
I'm a big fan of Sammy G and his signs, even though the story was long-winded on his signs. And Sammy, I know you listen every week. You can't write on the shiny side for television because the glare was pretty hard to read through. So make sure you flip them over. Even if the barcode's on the back, you'll still be able to write enough. Just use the non-shiny, the shiny side because it was rough to read.
If you guys were expecting Mark to give you cue card directions and instructions on how to use them, take a drink, enjoy it. I was not expecting you to go. It was almost like a dad giving a speech. Listen, son, when you use cue cards and large poster boards,
right.
Don't use the shiny side. I like that. Don't use the shiny side. Use the regular side. We can cover the barcode.
Right. Yeah. And nobody cares where you bought it from. Probably the local CVS or Rite Aid or someplace because that's where you buy poster board. Because you forget when you're over at the Walmarts and you're like, shit, or Dollar General. So you run uptown and you have to buy them there. They only have 5 pieces. The fourth one is always ripped. You just buy
and they're up priced.
Yes.
They're up priced. They're $20 a pop. Yeah.
Yes. All right. Kingston, Santana, and Ortiz, a little video package, then they come out. I love the reference of JYD and Butch Reed. That's essentially what I wanted to say about it.
I love that, but I have to pose the question, who throws a fucking TV? Come on, man.
That was a big TV, too. There was nothing wrong with that TV.
I also like that they tried to reuse the TV during the MJF segment. Did you notice that?
Yes.
You had to have noticed it because you called it out. And they put it back up, and I'm like, why would you put the TV back up if it was just thrown and destroyed? But I don't know. That it's the small things like that. But I did enjoy the JYD Butch Reed commentary on that. That was fantastic.
Next up, we get the Jade and Maria Shafir who we're building up. I don't know yet. I really don't know when this match is going to happen, and I don't know who's going to win because Shafir is getting mega build up now too. But I think they have to give Jade 30. I really think they have to.
So I agree. I don't think Jade loses to Marina Shafir. They are building her up to be a milestone. Because I think then that'll be her first milestone, being somebody else that's undefeated. Then when you get to 40, that milestone could be Sheeta at that point. Who knows?
Yeah.
You get to 50, or 50 is Sheeta. 40 could be Nyla for all we know. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, where is the line? I think they just keep putting milestones in front of her. She's going to get the title eventually. So what milestones are they going to have her hit, and who are they going to have her take off of her list as she continues to grow and grow into that, while still considering who would be the one to dethrone her?
Yeah, I don't know yet. I still don't know. I still don't know if we keep saying this. I just don't know if Britt goes down to that title with her not being around for a couple more weeks, ever.
I think
not anytime soon, at least.
Right. But I think Jade is going to outgrow the CBS title and get the women's title. And that's where you could see the intro of Britt or Thunder, those two heavyweight contenders. Because Sheeta now, spoilers, did qualify on Friday for the Owen Hart thing. So I feel like Sheeta's not at that upper tier yet.
Right.
And she's still settling things with Serena. So that could be ongoing for a while now. But I think Jade's going to get to the women's title before she loses the TBS. It's similar. It's similar in the sense of the titles involved. But when Goldberg won the U.S. title and then won the world title, but still holding U.S. title, that's going to get vacated.
Yeah. And he gives us another tournament. So they're fighting another tournament. Yeah. The Hardys against Butcher and the Blade. Can I just say, there was a ton of hard bumps, a ton of falls, hits, shots, this, that, and the other thing. But it was a Hardy match for me, and I've seen them. It was just different people. I didn't care.
No, because we knew the end result. And to be honest, I just kind of wish they would stop taking the bumps.
Right?
Because I think
they're going to die one of these times.
One of these times, and Jeff can't hit that swanton every time. We saw that with, I think it was Mark Quinn last week, or the week before, where he barely hit it. And it seemed like it hurt both people more than it actually was executed well. No narc on Jeff, but keep it ground game, guys. Yeah. It's not. I know you guys were high flyers and that's great. But the people that are still wrestling into their 60s have changed their style to match what they can do physically.
Yeah.
So if you want to continue wrestling, I'm not saying wrestle into your 60s, but if you want to continue wrestling, adapt your style so that you can still do it and kind of protect your body so that when you do retire, you can enjoy life after wrestling.
Yeah, not in a wheelchair.
Exactly.
I'm going to touch on the matches. If you want to touch on any of the promos, jump in, Jenks. Yeah. Julia Hart against Sheeta, like you said, she qualified. Not much to say about the match, except I love what Julia did in this. Sheeta wins the match, but Julia wins me. She throws the Varsity Blondes out in her fucking eye. People have reincarnated, but she's still going with this. So we know this is long-term storytelling, that she's getting that little bit of evil still from her eye. I love it. When, though?
Notice, I don't know when, but did you notice it's starting to turn black like Alistair's?
Yes.
I noticed that detail, not immediately, but a little bit into the match. They showed a close-up, and I'm like, oh, shit, she's got that kind of fading out like it's turning black.
Yeah.
And then the evil presence, she's becoming possessed. Mark, I've never been so giddy for a potential storyline to pay off.
I know.
Like I am right now, because I'm like, oh my God, she's going to turn and join the House of Black. Because I don't know when it's going to be. And Julia, to your point, she won you over. She's won me over just because of this work. She's been a heel in this match. She kicked out the Varsity Blondes. Everything looks like it's slowly taking over her. And again, this is what I love about AEW. They will take the time to build this out, where it could be 6 months before she actually does the full-on turn. But it's happening. And you can see little things happen week to week to continue your investment in it. It's perfect.
The thing is, the Varsity Blondes have to get back around to House of Black. They're not there. I mean, you just book that match just to book it? Because that's what's got to happen. She's got to screw them over. In my mind, she's got to screw them over in a tag team match to go with the House of Black. The House of Black has to be there. The Varsity Blondes are not doing anything.
Right. And I think you can get there very easily with 1 week them sitting down and saying, Julia, you have not been the same since Alistair attacked you. What is going on? You can get there by just having them question what is going through her mind. And then they can say, our friend has not been the same since you did this to her. And they can still try to get revenge. They're going to get obliterated, but it helps aid that storyline. And I think it helps get them back there. But the question is going to be when. Yeah. When are you planning to do that for? Maybe the payoff is double or nothing, and it's House of Black versus Varsity Blondes. Again, it's not a big blockbuster throw against the wall great match that everybody's hoping for, but it's a turning point in the story that I think can lend itself to being a pay-per-view worthy storyline because the AEW has allowed it to grow to that point. If you would have told me before this whole thing that the Varsity Blondes and Julia Hart would be involved in a pay-per-view level storyline with Aleister Black. Now,
you would have laughed at him.
Black.
You would have laughed.
You would laugh.
Yeah.
It would have been laughed out of the building. But they're doing it in such a brilliant way. And when we get to Yuta, I'm going to talk a couple of the same points. they built it up in such a way that you just are expecting it to happen and you want it to happen. So now you want to see it, and it's in a pay-per-view. It would be a bigger moment.
AEW has had one of the greatest tag team matches I have ever seen. We will not be able to do justice to this. I'm not glossing over this, but this is the Young Bucks that I love. Not last week's shit. There was a million stories in this match itself. In the ending was the chef's kiss. It was the V-trigger, the Adam Cole kiss to the big rig.
Yep.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I was sweating during this match watching it because I was in love with this match.
So was I, man. I could not. I purposely stayed off the internet too because I knew I couldn't watch it live on Wednesday. So I'm like, I can't even go on the internet because I want to see this live in person and just feel it and embrace it. Everything, every little thing that they did, mocking each other. I popped way too loud for Cash Wheeler doing the Young Bucks thing.
Yeah.
All right. And you wouldn't do that in just a normal tag match. This is how much history. And again, this proves. I love that Tony Khan waited 18 months for them to touch again. And the FTR never got that rematch from when they lost the titles back in 2020 because it was beautifully done. And now we had the mocking. Oh my God, Mark, I was just dying when they kissed him on the cheeks before they fucking did everything. It was beautifully executed, beautifully done. You were correct. We would never do this justice if we tried to pick apart every piece of this match. We just couldn't.
Go back, watch it, and then rewatch it yourself, and then rewatch it again
a third time.
Yeah.
Like, so here's the thing. In AEW, only one tag match has made me go back and watch it again. It was the Young Bucks versus Penta and Ray.
Yep.
In the cage.
Yeah.
In the cage, yes. I don't know how many times I'm going to rewatch this match, but I'm going to rewatch it a hell of a lot because that was how good this damn tag team match was.
Spoiler, it is on the Match of the Year candidate, without a doubt.
Yes.
This may, as much as we say, we have loved Danielson and Kenny, Danielson and Page, Page and Kenny, all of those that happen in January, essentially.
Yeah.
This may be it. This may be it, Jenks, because I don't know. But AEW continues, and this was not a pay-per-view show.
No.
So there's time. There's time that they'll blow it out of the water, and we'll be like, oh man, this is the third match of the year, which is unbelievable. I don't know though how or when and what you do to top this.
But here's the thing. I would love to say that, Mark, but they're going to find a fucking way to do it.
I know. And they might have. They might have already.
Yeah. They might have. It only took 2 days.
It did.
But
switching to Rampage, I loved how they bookended the Blackpool Combat Club. You start with Danielson and Trent. You end with Mox and Yuta. Both of them are in a feud with each other, Trent and Yuta, because they don't like each other. I shit on Rampage week after week for booking too much. Essentially, they still did. But holy Christ, did they bookend the show perfectly.
Yeah. This was... Trent and Danielson blew me out of the water. I mean, I guess here's the thing with Trent. I keep forgetting how good he is.
Yeah.
Trent is very good in the ring. And every time I see him, he has a match, I'm like, oh, okay, well, that is what it is. And every time he impresses me, and I keep forgetting that. So I need to get on the Trent bandwagon just to remember how good he is. And he took Danielson to the limit here. Man, they, to your point, bookend it perfectly. I can't say enough good things about this opening match, though.
I know.
Blew it out of the water.
I know. It was, for me, Rampage was about the first and last match. There was some stuff in the middle that I'm like, haha, or whatever. And I'm going to go quick in my terms. Swerve and QT I could have given two shits about.
Right.
We're seeing a little bit of meanness about of Red Velvet and Willow. I think Willow would have served better getting the win in this whole... She might have been the darling you're looking for in the women's, tournament. I don't know.
Cinderella.
Yeah.
She could have been that Cinderella person in it. Yeah.
Yeah. Hook and Danhausen. All right. When are we getting the match? That essentially that's what it's. Yeah.
It is, and I'm dying for it. Also, I do like the antics of Danhausen trying to curse him and getting pissed every time.
And then eating the chips.
I don't know if I would have ate the chips out of the garbage can, though.
It was clean.
But that's Danhausen.
It was a clean garbage can.
I don't know about that.
It looked clean.
It looked clean. I mean, he came from hell, so who knows? Anyways.
The rest I don't care about, honestly.
Yeah.
I didn't care about your homeboy Huskus. I could give two shits about what Tony Nese and Smart Mark's doing. So we're going to fast forward.
Let's do it.
Mox and Yuta. I didn't know this could happen. I don't know if I wanted this to happen. It happened. I watched it again.
Yeah.
This blew Danielson and Trent out of the water. And that was hard to do.
Oh, yeah.
Unbelievable fucking match. And then, just again, Chef's Kiss at the end. You brought that to the show, and I'm stealing it all the time.
That's fine.
Is he in? Is Yuta in Blackpool now?
I think he is, yeah. Because he wrote it in blood on his chest, and Mox said this is where the real work really begins.
He did. This was fucking amazing.
How 2 months ago, Wheeler Yuta, if I would have said that name, would you have cared two shits?
No, because he was his best friends.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, AEW, Yuta, Bryan Danielson, it just takes the veteran team to put him over. It just takes the right combination to put somebody over. And AEW did that in 2 months. Took Yuta from, I don't care what he does. He just looks like some guy that's part of the best friends. He is what he is. And in 2 months' time, he has become the
chosen one.
The chosen one. All because Bryan Danielson said his name in a promo at the end of February.
Yeah.
That started it, and now we've come to the circle where Yuta has bled. I think this is the first time somebody's kicked out of the paradigm shift, not once, but twice.
And the second one was a fucking spike from hell.
It was a spike from hell. It looked deadly. Looked like he should have been out completely, and he fucking kicked out. And it took a fucking rear naked choke to get him to pass out. I thought he was going to pass out during the Bulldog choke after the first one. Nope. No, fuck you. Yuta said fuck you. How do you believe that?
I love that Yuta did every move right back to Moxley.
Yep.
That Moxley did to him.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love the callback, though, when Yuta started stomping on Moxley's head.
Yes.
I love Danielson. That was beautiful. So now we have this rage-fueled monster bleeding. Blood from a stone, blood from a wheel at this point. Let's go that route.
From a wheel.
Blood from a wheel, because Wheeler Yuta bleeding profusely. He had Eddie Guerrero bleeding going on there.
He did.
And he was a monster. It set everything up. It was toe-to-toe. I thought he was actually going to beat Mox at probably 50% of this match.
I did too. But then I thought Mox would just pummel him at the end, and then Danielson and Regal were going to come out and make the save and shake his hand and all of them be together. Yeah. I think that would have added a little bit more with Yuta getting the win over Mox to keep. Because let's fast forward this. I don't know how long, but let's fast forward this again. At some point, we're getting another Mox Danielson match. This is going to blow up 2 years down the line or whatever. We're going to get that match again. But this would have been that long-term storytelling where Danielson beats him, Mox loses to him, Mox fucking blows up. Danielson says, I'm welcoming into the group because me and Regal are closer than you and Regal, and he's our boy. Get in with it. Mox is like, yeah, he's great. He fucking made me bleed. Da-da-da-da-da. Water under the bridge to this match because it meant nothing. He's a champion, essentially.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's in my mind, but...
So here's where my thought goes to. Let's be honest. You're the pure champion in ROH, the pure white champion in ROH. Is there a brawler that they bring in to pair with Mox, or is it where Danielson and Yuta, I'm booking it, Yuta and Danielson are going to get the tag title shot at some point. Mox is by himself. Do they bring in a brawler to support Mox, and do we see the dissension there, or do we just see it as Bryan Danielson and Yuta are two in the same, and Mox is that odd man out? And that becomes the rift between them.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's more than 3 members. I do. And I think...
Go ahead.
I think the next is we're going to see a woman. I really do.
Agreed.
I don't know if it's Layla or anybody that you're thinking of. I don't have an answer.
So I'm not thinking Layla.
Okay.
I don't know if I've said this on here before. I've said it to somebody.
Oh, you said Stat last week or 2 weeks ago.
I said Stat, yes.
Yeah.
I think it's Stat. The change in character, close proximity to Wheeler, it's almost like a cult mentality mindset of Wheeler has been talking this up and talking up these guys and pushing him, and now she sees the end result of that. I think Chris wants that. And I think we can get that. The change in character, it seems to be everything's lining in place to almost be maybe a surprise joining to the Blackpool Combat Club. I don't know.
Are you getting a hoodie soon?
I would love to. I've been thinking about it.
I don't know if I like the zip up one though.
I don't like the zip up. I want an actual hoodie.
Yeah.
That's the only one. I didn't see if they had. They don't have an actual hoodie.
I don't know yet. I didn't look because Mox was the only one wearing the zip up one, and I don't. Yeah.
Speaking of merchandise, I immediately started looking up FTR gear again right after the Bucks Young Bucks. Not take away from it, but I had to say that.
Yeah, I know.
So,
I know.
but outside of that, but yeah, I feel like it's, to me, Chris might work better than Layla.
Oh, I think for sure. I
Yeah.
think for sure better. I mean, I don't think Layla has this image right now of, well, she's tough and that, and I don't think they're going to keep away from her.
Yeah.
Stat does make it, but see, we're talking about Stat. We weren't talking about Wheeler. We were talking about maybe Lee Moriarty or somebody else, and it took the Yuta to come out of Danielson's mouth, and we're like, we still think Moriarty would be better. I don't think Moriarty would be better, and I love Lee Moriarty.
But I think that also speaks to how little we knew about Wheeler Yuta.
Right.
And that's not in a bad connotation, Mark. That's just, we didn't have a reason to care for Yuta. We had a reason to care for Lee. We knew what Lee could do. We know what Lee can do. And he may still join.
He may. Right.
But I think we didn't know what Yuta could do until these past 2 months. And now that we know that, and we know that there's passion behind it, and he can talk, he's talking pretty well for just being Yuta, at least giving it to the best friends. Yeah. But I don't know. I feel like we have, and maybe there's a woman out there that we just don't know about yet that could be getting the rub instead of Stat. But I just feel like that change in character has been the thing that's saying to me, this is not just Stat changing because of Layla. Something else is going on here.
I agree. Jenks, wrapping it up here real quick. I'm bummed that we're not doing a show next week because I did forget about 2 Belts Battle Royal on Saturday night, or what the hell, Battle of the Belts Part 2.
Yeah.
But Easter only comes once a year, and it's nice to take an Easter holiday. So that we will do.
Yep. I agree. Battle of the Belts, though, it has to impress me, though, Mark. Last time it didn't deliver.
It did
so I'm
not.
looking for big things.
So we'll be back in 2 weeks to wrap up everything that we did. We'll put a nice bow on everything, get us moving forward into May. Jenks, there's 2 pictures on our thumbnail that I definitely wanted to talk about. And it's a congratulations thing, and we're really fucking bad at congratulating people to get married. Chelsea Green only got congratulated like 6 months after her marriage, so we will get it in. Congratulations to Matt and Leah, as you know them. That is Carmella and Corey. I even made reference to them in the show.
You said
Jesus
it several
God.
times in the show, man.
Congratulations to them. They got married on Thursday, and I know there's a lot of pictures out there. Bailey, Liv, Sonia, that they all took pictures. So apparently they were open with pictures being posted and everything. It looked like a great thing. Sam Adonis, Ray Lynn were also there. My invite must have got lost. I'm a little upset about that. But
it's going to come this week, man. It's going to come this week. Don't worry about it.
And then it's wedding season, apparently right after WrestleMania. But Alexa Bliss didn't have anything going on since January. Her and Ryan Cabrera got married in a private wedding.
Yeah, we've only seen People Magazine exclusive so far.
Yeah.
Of that marriage, but yeah, congratulations to both couples. Long, happy, healthy lives together, and enjoy the time with the new significant others. Corey and Carmella started on Monday, so they've already started enjoying their time together.
Yes, they did.
Yes, they did.
As we run along, it's okay. Now I want to know, what do you do for Easter? I know you'll probably have the god niece over who runs the whole family and everything like that. You doing ham?
We're doing ham. We're doing cheesy potatoes. We're gonna bunch of other things going on, broccoli and cheese, things of that nature. We're gonna actually go to Mom's house this year.
About time. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, right. But as I'm hosting a birthday this afternoon for my sister, but. Yeah, so we're gonna do a family gathering. Nothing too crazy. It will be. My sister is having surgery this week, so it's gonna be. So she's not gonna be able to enjoy it as much, but it'll be a good week, and it's gonna be a good holiday.
Yeah,
to just celebrate and be with family. So,
you
mentioned you were going to both families, right?
I know we're doing the ham, and we used to do like cheesy potatoes and stuff, but we all fell in love with the sweet potatoes or the yams, whatever you use, with the marshmallows on top. Oh my God, it's unbelievable. And then Grandma Gima, as we call her, will go overboard cooking 75 other things, probably 13 different pies. So I'll be a rolling fucking Stay Puft Marshmallow Man going to my dad's, who will probably have Straub's beer and like Slim Jims. But it's just about seeing the family. Really.
That's fair. Hey, you know what? Straub beer and Slim Jims is a good time. So
it is a good time.
Embrace it. But I love it. Enjoy it. Enjoy the family time and take it as much as possible. Not just you, Mark, but everybody listening.
Yeah.
Enjoy the family time, or enjoy the time however you see fit. But just enjoy it.
Guys, quick wrap up this week. You know where to find us. Every place Spotify, every place podcasts are. We're there. Email cancrusher69@gmail.com. Check out all our socials. We continue to post nonsense and everything there. This week, not giving you a day because I'm playing baseball the rest of the day because I'm still sitting here stewing about being pissed off that I don't have a ton of Diamond players for Diamond Dynasty. There will be the Tag Team Championship Tournament up as well on the YouTube page. Check out that. So we essentially can get to the godforsaken universe mode to see what happens in Can Crusher Wrestling Federation.
I don't know if I have to hold my breath any longer. I'm going to pass out.
I said don't hold your breath. I said
well,
don't.
I'm holding it now. Maybe they'll light a fire.
Maybe Harambe will make an appearance in Can Crusher Wrestling Federation.
I hope so. You're giving me a good idea to use the Can Crusher title as the main title for this group of miscreants and mischievous individuals. So So we're going to use the Can Crushers, and we're going to have it at the Oscars. Will be our WrestleMania. So
Nice. Guys, enjoy your Easter. We're taking a week off. We love you. We really do. For Jenks, I'm Mark. Remember, just because you're trash doesn't mean you can't do great things.
Garbage can, not a garbage cannot. Love you guys.